The Falmouth Commodores play with their backs against the wall tonight at Lowell Park in the second game of a home-and-home with the Cotuit Kettleers. And the first game of the home-and-home, not the best and not the result that the Commodores wanted, but they'll look for a bounce-back win in a major way here tonight. Good afternoon, everybody. Matt Levine alongside my broadcast partner, David Hadar. Tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, at 4:30, first pitch here at Lowell Park. The Commodores coming in off of probably their worst loss of the season last night, giving up 16 runs on 20 hits to the exact same team that they'll go up against tonight. But, David, it wasn't that the pitching staff was bad last night for Falmouth. This Cotuit offense just exploded, and they hit the ball almost everywhere on the field.
They sure did. I mean, 20 hits on the night. That's the most we've seen in any game this summer and is up there for the most in any game between any teams here on this 2021 season. Cotuit brought their A game last night, scoring in 7 of the 9 innings against the Commodores, and it was tough for Falmouth. They found themselves behind early, going down 2-0 in the top of the first. Were able eventually to tie things up at 4 apiece at the end of 3. But then Cotuit struck right back, taking the lead in the top of the fourth and never relinquishing that lead. And in the 3 games that the Commodores played against the Kettleers this season at the Gov, Falmouth never led for even 1 second in any of those ball games as Cotuit came in and went 3-0 against the Commodores at Gov Fuller Field. So last night was, like you said, one of the toughest games that this Commodores team has played this season, and it comes as the playoff race continues to heat up down the stretch. And last night was one of the biggest games of the summer for the Commodores. They didn't bring their A game. They didn't bring their B game. It was just a bad game for Falmouth, and they're going to have to try and erase that from their memories for this back end of the home-and-home here tonight.
Well, this game has massive postseason implications tonight. It could shake up so many different things depending on who wins. If Cotuit wins, they pretty much need one more victory after that to clinch the second spot in the playoffs. If Falmouth wins and they're back to where they were going into last night's game, and they're right on the tail of Cotuit. So just a massive game tonight, and really, I mean, there's really never a do-or-die winner-go-home situation unless it's a Game 7 or you need to win that game. But essentially, they need to win this game without saying that they really do.
Yeah, tonight's about as close as they come for this Falmouth team, needing a must-win in this spot. Coming into tonight, Cotuit's mod win percentage sits at about 500, and Falmouth's is at 469. So they're not separated by too much, but a win tonight for Falmouth drops Cotuit's mod win percentage to 485 and pushed the Commodores up to 484. So you're right back to being about neck and neck. Cotuit still has the lead in the division, but the Commodores are within striking distance. A win for the Kettleers tonight bumps Cotuit's mod win percentage up to 515 and drops Falmouth to 455. So if Falmouth drops this game tonight, they're going to really need to win out, but they're also going to hope that the Kettleers lose out on the season. Otherwise, the Commodore summer will be done come Wednesday. So this game is going to pretty much decide who makes the playoffs out of the Western Division. With Cotuit winning tonight, it'll all be locked up but for this Kettleers team. If Falmouth can come out on top tonight, things are still going to be interesting down the stretch.
Well, this is a Kettleers team that comes in having won 4 straight games. The Commodores probably in their biggest peaks and valleys of the summer so far. A loss, a win, a loss, a win, a loss. And now you find yourself here coming off that 1 loss to Cotuit last night. But a couple of games ago, you put up 13 runs against Hyannis on the road. But it's Cotuit that's coming in 4 straight wins, and their offense has just gone off the charts over the last couple of days.
Yeah, this has been unreal for Mike Roberts' team. In the 4-game winning stretch for this Cotuit team, the team is hitting 366 and has scored 43 total runs during that span. I mean, over these last 4 games, Cotuit is averaging over 10 runs a game, and no matter how good your offense is, it's going to be tough to combat that day in, day out. And the Kettleers are playing so well down the stretch here. I mean, some of the best baseball that not only this team has played all summer, but as a whole on the Cape that any team has played on the year. So it's impressive to see what this Cotuit team is doing. They are certainly gunning for that second playoff spot. But the Commodores came in here a week ago and were able to walk away with their first win of the summer against the Kettleers. Just a 6-inning game, but Falmouth came out on top 9-4. So Falmouth has success this summer here at Lowell Park. They need to try and bring that success again tonight.
Well, they're looking to Adam Stone to make his start tonight, his 4th appearance and 4th start of the summer. having gone to play with the collegiate national team at Team USA, so he missed a couple of weeks. But he's been back with the team for about a week and a half now. He made his last start right here against Cotuit in at Lowell Park, and it was just last Saturday. So he's had a little bit of more days rest than he's used to. He went just 2/3 of an inning, though, last time here, and he has to really look for a bounce-back start tonight.
Yeah, in that game last week, he faced 6 total batters in his outing and allowed 4 walks, and fortunately for him, only 1 run came across. Anthony DeFabia ended up coming on in relief of him, and DeFabia, yet again, pitched really well out of the bullpen for this Falmouth team. And we'll just take a quick pause here for our national anthem and come back with more of Adam Stone in just a moment.
We welcome you back into Lowell Park tonight. Matt Levine alongside David Hadar as the Commodores take on Cotuit for the second straight evening, looking for a massive bounce-back win. And, David, I'll give it back to you a bit more on Adam Stone from his last start.
Yeah, so Adam Stone last pitched here just over a week ago, and Falmouth ended up coming out on top 9-4, but it was his shortest start of the season and one that he just did not have great command of his pitches. Just 2/3 of an inning, ended up giving up a run in that opening inning and faced 6 total batters in the start. So for him, it's obviously going to be a big bounce-back night, and for the Commodores as a whole, going to be a big bounce-back night. But he's a guy who has not gone the distance really at all this summer. Tonight being his 4th start of the summer. In his previous 3, his longest outing was the season opener on June 20th. He went just 3 innings in there. So they're going to need to try and get some length out of him tonight. But fortunately for him, the bullpen has been pretty rock solid all summer long. So see what the Commodores can do on the mound. But regardless, for him and for this team, a big bounce-back night needed.
And on the other side of things for Cotuit on the mound tonight, Dalton Rogers out of Jones College at the JUCO level, but he'll transfer to play at Southern Mississippi for the upcoming season. He's making his 4th start of the year, but his 5th appearance, and a little different. He's been really good. He's given up a run. Not all of them have been unearned, but he's given up at least 1 run in every single outing so far this summer. He's 1-0 with a 2.70 ERA, and just a guy that pounds the zone and throws strikes and lets hitters hit.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a really good pitcher for this Cotuit team all summer long, and despite the fact that he comes out of the JUCO level, like I was just saying, and with the numbers you were mentioning, been successful for this team. So Falmouth's going to have that A game tonight. They've hit the Kettleers well over the last couple of meetings. Of course, last night, one that Falmouth's going to have to erase from its memory. So a whole host of factors working against Falmouth tonight, but you know what? If the Commodores want to make the playoff, they're going to have to show their best game and some of their best baseball of the season here tonight, and that's going to start against Dalton Rogers.
Well, tonight, Falmouth, the road team, where they've been a little bit more successful than at home. They're above 500 on the road, 9-6-1 coming into tonight. And despite Adam Stone struggling in his last start, which was here at Lowell Park, the Commodores' offense exploded. 9 runs and 11 hits in just 6 innings. A game that was called due to darkness that started at 5:02 tonight. First pitch just a little after 4:30. So hopefully get all 9 in. But 6 innings and you put up 9 runs and 11 hits last time you're here. You got to have that in your memory just a little bit to give you some more confidence tonight.
And that's going to probably be what the message was from Jeff Trundy coming into tonight's game was, hey, we played well here 8 days ago, and that was just a 6-inning ball game. So bring that level again tonight and just try and have that repeated success here at Lowell Park.
So Cody Colden will lead things off for the Commodores as he's done so over the last couple of weeks. Face off against the left-hander, Dalton Rogers.
Come on, Dalton, let's go, buddy.
Commodores in their black jerseys with the gray pants, Falmouth written across the chest. And the first pitch from Rogers. Fastball swing and a miss from Colden, and we're underway at 4:31 here at Lowell Park. Count 0-1 on Cody Colden, whose bat has started to find its way over the second half of the season. Went 1 for 4 last night with a single and a walk, and he takes the 0-1 pitch upstairs for a ball, now 1-1. Rogers on the mound is 1-0, 2.70 ERA. He's gotten 10 innings, has given up 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 16 strikeouts to 11 walks. And the 1-1 pitch right down the middle with a fastball for a called strike. It's 1-2. So right away, that sticks out to you. Not too many strikeouts and a lot of walks. So the Commodores probably going to try to get deep into counts here in this ball game. Rogers out of the windup, the 1-2. Breaking ball misses down in the dirt. Now the count moves to 2-2 on Colden.
Well, this is the first time that these Commodores are seeing Dalton Rogers this summer. So unlike last night where you had the familiarity with Jake Brooks, tonight you're going up against a guy that is only making his 5th outing of the season for Cotuit and the first against these Commodores.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Colden takes the fastball inside, and the count runs full.
Close pitch there for Colden to take, but just on the inner part of the plate. And so a good take there by the leadoff man for these Commodores.
Colden with a couple of hits over the last 2 days, and the 3-2. Fastball just fouled off and in and out of the glove of Matt Donlin behind home plate. He could not squeeze that to complete the strikeout, so Colden stays alive.
The fastball so far from Rogers has been hovering around 92 miles an hour, so that's something that the Commodores can keep up with in this ball game.
Here's the 3-2 again. Inside with a fastball, and it's ball 4 to start the day for Cody Colden. Commodores get the leadoff man aboard for the second straight night. Colden singled last night in the bottom of the first. Tonight he walks, and that's the 12th walk of the season issued by Rogers. Braden Taylor will now stand in, playing at third base tonight, back in the field defensively. Cotuit wearing their white uniforms with the maroon pinstripes and Cotuit written across the chest. The maroon caps as well. Braden Taylor back in the lineup last night for the first time since July 20th. And the first pitch to him. Fastball misses outside, and the count moves to 1-0. Taylor slowly working back into the lineup, so they have him at the DH spot, now back in the field tonight. As time is called. And home plate umpire Rick Emerson already going over to Mike Roberts, the head coach. Not even a single out recorded in this game. And there's some shouting out of that Cotuit dugout.
Yeah, I think, not sure, but I think that Roberts was, or someone in the dugout was arguing balls and strikes. And so Rick Emerson comes out, jots something down on his notepad, maybe a warning or something issued to their team. But regardless, early fireworks here again between Falmouth and Cotuit, which we've come to expect.
This is the last meeting of the season between these two teams. The 5th and final one of the games here at Lowell Park was rained out and cannot be made up based on the schedule of this season. Rogers set at the belt, lifts his right leg, and goes over towards first, where Colden gets back in standing up. Braden Taylor on the season, an all-star here in the summer. .281 average and his 24th game for Falmouth. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball down the middle, belt high for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Taylor, a guy last night who went 1 for 4 in his first game back in the lineup for the Commodores since July 20th. So saw that bat early again for Falmouth, a guy who comes in hitting .281 on the season.
1-1 breaking ball misses way outside to Braden Taylor, and now it's 2-1.
And not only with Taylor back in the lineup does it provide another really good bat for these Commodores, but it also provides some really good leadership from a guy who's played in just about every game this summer until the small stretch that he missed over the last week and a half.
Another pickoff attempt that Colden gets back in standing up. Rogers now set at the belt quickly. Kicks and deals the 2-1. Fastball up in the zone, but called a strike, and now it's 2-2 on Taylor. Matt Suggs out in left field tonight. Jace Grady in center. Noah Bridges in right. Carter Trice at third base. Ryan Ritter at shortstop. Eric Brown at second. Two of them have been unbelievable this season. Nathan Martorella at first, and Matt Donlin, the catcher tonight. And another pickoff attempt where Colden gets back in standing up. Martorella at first has an interesting position where he tries to hold runners on. He's in front of the bag. Usually you'll have guys toe the first base bag, as the 2-2 is grounded foul behind home plate into the backstop. Another breaking ball from Rogers, and Taylor stays alive.
Yeah, it's interesting where Martorella stands. He doesn't give himself much time to apply a tag if if Cody Colden dives back in or even runs back in, because he's so far ahead of the bag that if Colden stays on his feet, he's not going to really have a chance to apply that tag.
Another pickoff attempt. That's the fourth one since Colden's been on base, and he's gotten back in standing up all 4 times.
And we haven't really seen, Rogers a lefty, haven't really seen a pickoff move from him that really fakes out Colden at all, as there's another pickoff attempt to keep him close to first.
Well, Martorella is a left-handed fielder, so his glove is closer to the base. That might give him some extra room to play in front of the bag, as the 2-2 misses outside with a fastball. Now the count's full to Braden Taylor. That's back-to-back full counts to start this game for Rogers, and I think this is exactly what the Commodores want. See a lot of pitches and work some walks, get guys on, and move them around.
Well, you said it coming in. Rogers not a guy who walks too many, just 12 total walks on the season.
3-2, and a fastball in the outside corner punches out Braden Taylor, and he doesn't like the call as he has a couple of head shakes towards the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson. But there's the first out and the first strikeout of the inning.
Yeah, I'm there with Braden Taylor. That ball appeared to be on the outside part of the plate, not something he ever would have swung at. And we've seen some similar pitches in that spot that have been called balls tonight already.
Jace Borfin, the 3-hitter, as always, stands in. Another pickoff attempt. Cody Colden dives back in, and they got him. Well, Dalton Rogers didn't really change much up. He had the same exact move as the previous 5 that Colden saw, but Colden just leaning the other way this time instead of getting back in. He dives in, had to reach for the base, and he gets tagged out by Martorella for the second out. And now the first pitch to Borfin, a breaking ball away, and the count's 1-0.
I'm not sure, from our vantage point, I'm not sure that Colden ever even got back to first base. Looked like he was reaching out with his fingertips to try and touch the bag, but I'm not sure that he ever actually made it back.
Count moves to 2-0 with a off-speed pitch outside.
And after an inning that started off and looked to be promising early for the Commodores, quickly has shifted here into the Kettleers' advantage.
2-0 pitch out of the windup. It misses low. Now 3-0 on Jace Borfin, who's hitting .299 on the season in his 32nd game of the year. He's got 35 hits, which leads the team. 8 of them doubles. He had a triple last night, his 3rd of the season. And the 3-0. Fastball right down the middle for a called strike, and it's 3-1.
Well, Rogers pitching very cautiously here to the dangerous Jace Borfin, who has a base hit in 9 of the last 10 games that he's played in and is hitting just below 300 on the year.
3-1 pitch. Called strike right on the outside corner. Now 3-2 on Borfin. Well, the third baseman, Carter Trice, is playing about 20 feet off of the third base bag, right even with the baseline. And Eric Brown deep in the hole at second base. 3-2 with 2 outs. Fastball on the outside corner, called strike 3.
And Rick Emerson punches out Jace Borfin. Dalton Rogers faces the minimum, helped by a pickoff and a couple of strikeouts in the top of the first. And we go to the bottom of the first. Adam Stone takes the mound in a 0-0 ball game. Move to the bottom of the first inning. Adam Stone takes the mound to face off against Cotuit for the second straight outing here at Lowell Park. Jace Grady will lead things off, followed by Carter Trice, Ryan Ritter batting third, then Eric Brown cleans things up. It's the same exact lineup as last night. Noah Bridges batting fifth and right. Brett Roberts, the DH, bats sixth. Nathan Martorella plays first and bats seventh. Matt Suggs out in left bats eighth, and then Matt Donlin, the catcher, rounds things out and bats ninth. Jace Grady, the center fielder, will lead things off, batting from the left side. And the first pitch from Stone. Good breaking ball up at the top of the zone for a strike, and it's 0-1. Stone making his fourth start and his fourth appearance of the summer. And he goes out of the stretch. And the 0-1 pitch. Down low below the knees, and now it's 1-1. Grady last night had a phenomenal night. He was 4 for 6 at the plate. Scored 3 runs, had 3 RBIs, 3 singles, and a homer. At the top of the order for the Kettleers. Here's the 1-1 from Stone. Fastball misses inside, and now it's 2-1.
And a guy, too, that is hitting .313 on the season for this Kettleers team, and that's not even the best mark in this lineup. Cotuit with 3 guys hitting above .300 coming into tonight.
Count 2-1 on Jace Grady. And the pitch from Stone. Ripped into right field, going back Borfin. It's over his head, but he leaps and makes the catch. Beautiful grab for Jace Borfin, who has just been unbelievable defensively with his glove all summer.
Borfin continues to be one of the best fielders that this Commodores team has, and out in right field, he's got the sun positioned in his direction. It's behind some clouds right now, but nonetheless, have to look up and fight with the sun as you try and find that ball, and just at the last moment, a nice late jump from him ends up getting the ball into his glove.
Here's Carter Trice, the third baseman, bats from the right side. And the first pitch breaking ball from Stone misses down in the dirt. Adam Stone, the fastball, cutter, and slider. Likes to cut his fastball a lot. But earlier in the season, before he left for Team USA, was joking that sometimes he has no idea where it will end up. As the 1-0. Right on the outside corner for a strike, it's 1-1. Trice hitting .243 on the year in his 11th game. He's already got 9 hits through 10 games for Cotuit, a late addition to this team, helping them to make this run to the playoffs. 1-1 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, misses for a ball, and now it's 2-2. Well, last night, it took until the 9th inning for Trice to get a hit. He went 1 for 6, but that hit in the 9th was a 2-run double So every single batter in the lineup pretty much did damage last night offensively. Stone sets himself up at the chin, and the 2-1 is crushed into right center field. Borfin comes in just a bit and makes the catch in the right center field gap for the second out. Just a bit under it was Carter Trice, and now there's 2 away in the bottom of the first.
Couple of outs here for Jace Borfin here in the bottom of the first, having some early action out in right field. And 2 balls that, for the most part, he's handled easily to get the first couple of outs.
Here's Ryan Ritter, who's been one of the hottest hitters, if not the hottest hitter in the league. Batting .325 now as he cranks the first pitch into right field. This one more towards the line. Borfin goes over to his left and makes the catch. 3 putouts for Jace Borfin in the bottom of the first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Adam Stone. He gets through the first a lot different than he did in his last outing here, where he only lasted 2/3 of an inning in that first inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and we move to the second, scoreless at Lowell Park. We go to the second inning here at Lowell Park. 4, 5, and 6 due up in this inning for the Falmouth Commodores. They'll bring Chris Armstrong to the plate, then Anthony Hall, and then Michael Curiali. And if it extends more than that, it'll be Mike Handel, Taylor Smith, and Luke Boyers, and then back to the top. Dolan Rogers faced the minimum in the first, and the first pitch to Chris Armstrong batting from the right side is a called strike on the outside corner with a fastball. Armstrong playing in his 23rd game of the summer, despite being not a late addition, maybe about a mid-season addition, I would say, for this team as he takes a breaking ball low in the dirt for a ball. It's 1-1.
We've had a lot of late additions, though, as of late for this Falmouth team.
Plenty of late additions. Maybe we'll see those guys later on in the game as the 1-1 fastball misses below the knees. Armstrong hitting .300 flat on the year and really has shown all kinds of offensive power and contact, everything in his arsenal as he rips one hard through the left side of the infield and down into left field for a base hit. It's a leadoff single here in the top of the second for Chris Armstrong, and it's the first hit of the ball game for either side as he rips his 25th hit of the season. Now his average will go above 300.
Matt, I think you should keep calling when these guys have really good bats, because last night you said that, and the next pitch, Anthony Hall went deep. You do it here with Chris Armstrong, and he rips one off of his bat for the first base hit of the ball game. So Chris Armstrong finding some early success at the plate.
Well, here is Anthony Hall. Had a big day yesterday and has had big days over the last week and a half. He waves at the breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. He's upped his average to 280 now, and this being his 32nd game of the summer, so he's only gotten 1 day off. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball is just fisted foul off the end of the bat, and now it's 0-2.
You know, we've talked a lot on the year about how much Michael Curiali and Jace Borfin have been in the lineup for this Falmouth team, and that's because they've had such good at-bats, especially as of late for Curiali. But Hall, another guy who I think sometimes gets overlooked, but he's had one of the best bats as of late.
Pickoff attempt over to first, but Armstrong, not the biggest base stealer, gets back in standing up. He also doesn't have a big lead at all. Rogers deals the 0-2. A breaking ball that misses just outside, and it's 1-2. 26 hits on the year for Anthony Hall. He's got 4 home runs now, with 2 in the last 2 games. Rogers setting the stretch at the belt, and pickoff attempt over to first again. I mean, that has to be close to a balk because Martorella is not on the base. He's about 3 steps in front of it. So I guess that counts as covering the bag, but it's close. 1-2. Swing and a miss at the fastball inside, and Hall goes down on strikes. That's the 3rd strikeout of the night for Dalton Rogers of the afternoon. That'll get me all day, but there's now 1 away here in the top of the 2nd.
Well, Rogers with 3 strikeouts so far, and all 4 outs that have been recorded against the Commodores have come via him. He also had the pickoff attempt to get out Cody Colden in the top half of the 1st. So, guy who's been productive early.
Curiali swings at the first pitch fastball, and now he's behind 0-1. Has upped his average to 229 on the season, and remains the only player to play in every single game this summer. Another pickoff attempt over to first. Armstrong back in, standing up. Armstrong's back in before the throw even gets over to Martorella at first base. 1 away here in the 2nd, and Rogers will do it again. And once again, Chris Armstrong standing on first base when Martorella catches the ball from his pitcher.
I mean, Armstrong is pretty much standing toe-to-toe with Martorella over at first. So as soon as the ball gets to him, like you said, Armstrong's back at the base.
0-1 fastball is fouled back into the backstop to make it 0-2, but Curiali right on that pitch. Just couldn't barrel it up in play. The UCLA Bruin has 24 hits on the year. His bat has started to heat up over the last couple of games. Still 16 RBIs. And the 0-2 pitch. Fouled away over the right side and out of play, so Curiali will see another pitch.
Seeing the ball well here. Has had a couple of foul balls in this at-bat, and like we were saying, has had a good bat as of late. After a little bit of a slump mid-season, towards the end here, it's become a better bat again.
0-2. Breaking ball right on the inside corner. Freezes up Curiali as he watches strike 3. For the 2nd out of this inning and the 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Dalton Rogers.
Well, that inside part of the plate has set down Taylor, Borfin, and Curiali so far tonight. I mean, from our vantage point, it's right on that line. Not sure what the Commodores are seeing exactly, but nonetheless, our home plate umpire, Rick Emerson, has called that every time.
Dalton Rogers with another pickoff attempt over to Chris Armstrong. He's back in safely, standing up. Mike Handel, the hitter now, in the 7th spot tonight, playing in center field in his 4th game for Falmouth, has been phenomenal through 3. He takes the first pitch breaking ball outside. 3 games, he has 5 hits in 13 at-bats. 3 runs scored, a double, and 3 RBIs, and a couple of walks as well. Has really been inserted into the lineup, and his bat has just ran with it. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball in the outside corner. That's a good, really good pitch that Dalton Rogers has been going to. Curveball that sits in about mid to high 70s. He comes set at the belt and deals the 1-1. Grounded over to the right side. Just foul as Martorella fields it right in front of first base, but just to the right of the first base foul line. Now 2-2.
Handel, a guy who's playing in his 4th game now for the Commodores, but in his first 3 has shot up to the top spot in terms of his batting average, albeit a small sample size, but 5 for 13 at the plate through the first 3 games and had his first multi-hit game last night.
Drove in a couple of runs as well last night against Cotuit. Long look at first, but the 1-2 pitch coming. A breaking ball misses outside again. Count moves to 2-2. Handel batted 7th last night. Had 3 hits in the game and 3 RBIs. Had a 2-run double and a RBI single. So really helped Falmouth produce offensively last night. 2-2 pitch. Hard fastball, blows it right by his bat. And Handel goes down on strikes. 3 strikeouts in the inning that come in a row after Armstrong had a leadoff single. And the Commodores strand him on first base. 5 strikeouts now for Rogers as we move to the Bottom of the second inning.
Okay. If he wants to, he can.
Bottom of the second here at Lowell Park. Scoreless between Falmouth and Cotuit as 4, 5, and 6 come up in the order for the Kettleers. Eric Brown, then Noah Bridges, then Brett Roberts. A couple of guys that caused a ton of damage last night to Falmouth. And Eric Brown has had the Commodores number all summer. Last night, much of the same for him. 4 for 6, 2-run homer, 3 singles, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs in the game. That's cleanup and plays second base for Cotuit. And the first pitch from Stone, a breaking ball in the outside corner, taken for a strike by Eric Brown. Brown hitting .274 on the year, playing in his 31st game. Holds his hands right above his head and angles his bat towards third base. 0-1, loopy curveball that looked like it was in the same spot as the first pitch, but misses for a ball. It's 1-1.
We said last night this 3 through 7 or 6 spot that the Kettleers have can do so much damage, and they did last night. And this is going to be, again, the toughest part that Stone has to deal with.
Brown flies one out into right center. Mike Handel comes in, the center fielder, to his left to make the catch for the first out. So how about this? 4 up, 4 down to start this ball game through an inning and a third for Adam Stone. All of the outs have come through the air to either right field or center field.
Well, so far, Stone inducing pop-ups like you just said, and I mean, that's going to continue to help him feel more and more confident, especially when his defense is playing well behind him and having a good start to this ball game.
Brings up Noah Bridges, right fielder, batting in the 5 spot, left-handed hitter. And he rips the first pitch right into the glove of Cody Colden at shortstop. Colden was positioned perfectly, and the ball almost took a short hop on him, but he put his glove right down on the ground in time to grab it before it hit the ground for the second out.
We haven't seen Colden over at short in a little while, a guy who's played a little bit more of third and second as of late for this Commodores team, but comes back into the shortstop position tonight. And on the first ball that's hit his way, and also the first ball hit to the left side of the field tonight, handles it with ease for the second out of this inning.
Here's Brett Roberts. Swings at the first pitch, tips it off of Taylor Smith. And it's 0-1 as Rick Emerson will give Taylor Smith some time by walking out and then tossing the new ball over to Adam Stone. 5 pitches in the inning, 2 outs already for Adam Stone. Brett Roberts last night had 4 hits in the game, 3 runs scored, was credited with 1 RBI on his Little League home run, but it brought home 3 runs to score. As the 0-1 misses well upstairs, 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Adam Stone. It's 1-1.
Going back real quick to what I was saying with Cody Colden, he hasn't been at short since July 17th. That was right before Casey Harford arrived. So making that first start there in a couple weeks.
1-1, that off speed misses just outside. And Colden was really the shortstop all season once Maui Ahuna departed, and that feels like forever ago. And then Casey Harford came in and gave you an opportunity for Colden to play elsewhere at third and second as well. Now the count 3-1 after a fastball misses low. Roberts hitting .306 on the year in his 25th game. 4 hits last night for Brett Roberts. 3-1 pitch from Stone. Breaking ball down and away. It's ball 4, a 2-out base runner and the first base runner of the night for Cotuit as Brett Roberts works a walk. Just his 5th walk of the season.
Well, Roberts, a guy who, like you said, reached a ton yesterday, and that's the first base runner that Adam Stone gives up tonight. So it had 5 up, 5 down going into that at-bat, and now you come up against Nathan Martorella, who the Commodores had success against last night.
Martorella, the only starter that went 0 for in the game. He went 0 for 4. He fouls the first pitch off of his leg to make it 0-1. He was pinch hit for Raul Ortega, did pitch hit for him, or came into the field and then got an at-bat after. Ortega also went 0 for 1. So that 7 spot in the lineup combined 0 for 5 last night. That was literally the only spot in the lineup that didn't reach base. Roberts short lead off first. The right-hander Stone set in the 0-1. Fastball misses well upstairs. That was 94 miles an hour from Stone. That's the hardest of the night. And the count moves to 1-1. Martorella out of Berkeley hitting .230 on the season. Stocky left-handed hitter that plays first base for Cotuit. And Stone tries a pickoff attempt over to first, but Roberts dives in safely without a tag. This is Martorella's 26th game of the year as Braden Taylor, the third baseman, plays behind the bag at third. 1-1 breaking ball misses inside, and the count moves to 2-1. Second baseman Michael Curiali is deep in the hole and at the edge of that outfield grass and the infield dirt. The left-handed hitter up. 2-1 pitch from Stone. Ripped on a line, almost takes the head off of Brett Roberts, but it goes into right field for a base hit, and it gets away from Jace Borfin. Coming in to score all the way from first base without a throw is Brett Roberts, and sliding into third safely without a throw is Nathan Martorella. It's 1-0 Cotuit as they strike first on a base hit from Nathan Martorella here in the bottom of the second inning.
I'm not sure what happened out in right field. I saw Borfin take a line at the ball, and then somehow it got past him, but that was out of our viewpoint. So something happened out in right field, and that allowed Martorella to get all the way into first. They're going to give an error to Borfin on that play. Likely would have been a double probably from Roberts from Martorella, but able to get into third on the first base hit of the ball game.
Hard grounder for Matt Suggs on the first pitch he sees, but that's foul. Braden Taylor slid in foul territory to field that, but doesn't matter.
And they actually give Martorella a single, I should say, on that play. So able to go from first to third on an error by Borfin, and now he just stands 90 feet away.
And swinging and missing at the second pitch is Suggs. Now it's 0-2. So Martorella gets a single, and Brett Roberts scores on the error. So not an RBI for Martorella. Second straight day that Jace Borfin's committed an error. That's really the first fielding one. The other 2 that he had this season were by throwing errors. And now the 0-2 misses away. It's 1-2. So already 1-0 Cotuit. Here in the bottom of the second inning. 1 hit for both sides. As Suggs, the left fielder, stands in for a righty-righty matchup. Stone deals the 1-2. High breaking ball. He licks some of his fingers to get that grip back on the baseball, and it's 2-2. Suggs in his 11th game of the summer, only with 4 hits. coming into tonight through 10 games. 2-2 pitch. Chopper slowly in the infield. Coming in is the third baseman, Braden Taylor. What a play by Braden Taylor. Bang, bang play. A slow chopper that he comes into field. He made the running throw and got Suggs by less than half a step to save a run and end the inning. One run comes across off the bat of Nathan Martorella, and then an error for Jace Borfin allowed it to come home to score. Brett Roberts did from first base. It's 1-0 Cotuit as we move to the third inning. Move to the third inning here at Lowell Park. 1-0 Cotuit over the Commodores. As Taylor Smith, then Luke Boyers, and then back to the top of the order, and Cody Colden will come up to bat here in the top of the third inning off Dalton Rogers. Rogers through 2 innings so far has only allowed 2 base runners, a walk and a single, and has 5 strikeouts. The only other out he picked up was by picking off Cody Colden. First pitch to Taylor Smith, fastball up and away. It's 1-0. So he's been responsible for getting all 6 outs so far, 5 strikeouts and a successful pickoff. Here's the 1-0 to Smith. Hard grounder through the left side of the infield and into left field for a leadoff single. Well, Taylor Smith rarely hits singles, but he has his 14th hit of the season as he stops at first base with the leadoff single here in the third.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. His 14th hit of the year, 9 of his hits so far in the summer have been extra base hits, so only 5 singles for the Texas A&M Aggie. But another inning where the Commodores are able to get the leadoff man on base. Last inning it was Chris Armstrong, and he was stranded at first. But see if the Commodores bats here can try and move him around a little and come back after now playing from behind.
Here's Luke Boyers, who came in to pinch hit for Braden Taylor last night and grounded out. He shows bunt batting from the right side but pulls it away. And the pitch he takes outside for a ball. Boyers in his last start, he batted in the 9 spot at Hyannis. Went 2 for 5 with a couple of RBIs and a couple runs scored. Had a 2-run single and a double and a run as well. And now he's ahead in the count 2-0 as that fastball missed up and out.
Boyer showing bunt on that pitch, and guy who really Falmouth, a team that doesn't bunt too much, but we talked to Boyers a couple of weeks ago who picked up a base hit with a bunt and said that's something he's worked on a lot at TCU.
2-0, doesn't show bunt, takes the fastball well high out of the zone, and it's 3-0. And now the third baseman Trice backs up behind the bag. Brown and Ritter at second and shortstop. Pinch the middle just a bit. And the 3-0. Up and out of the zone with another fastball to Boyers, and he walks on 4 pitches. So the Commodores get the first 2 guys on here in the inning, and they have runners on first and second with nobody out for the top of the order.
Just the second walk issued tonight by Dalton Rogers, who otherwise has been pretty good so far for this Cotuit team, but he's gone no more than 3 1/3 innings all summer long. And here through 2 innings and giving up a single and a walk this half inning, we're going to see Mike Roberts come out and talk with his pitcher. I mean, he's been cruising so far. There isn't much that hasn't worked against him, and there's nobody up in the Kettleer bullpen out beyond the left field wall. So more than anything here, just probably talking situational hitting or situational pitching, I should say.
So Cody Colden will bat here with runners on first and second and nobody out. And an opportunity for Falmouth to tie or take the lead in the inning as Mike Roberts, in his 17th season as the head coach of the Kettleers, comes out to talk to Rogers. Now Rogers discussing with Donlin, his catcher, a couple of words as the entire infield met for a brief moment. Mike Roberts, the father of multi-time All-Star in the big leagues, Brian Roberts. Also the head man of the North Carolina Tar Heels for 20 years. So he's almost matched that here with Cotuit for 17 years. He's back into the dugout. And now Dalton Rogers back onto the mound, towing the rubber out of the stretch. Cody Colden stands in for the second time tonight. And Rogers lifts his leg and turns to second, but no one's holding Taylor Smith on base.
And Smith doesn't have any stolen bags this season. I mean, he's not a guy who's going to try and take third.
So the third baseman, Trice, plays up in on the grass, expecting a bunt, as well as Martorella at first. Ritter, the shortstop, plays well off the second base bag. First pitch to Colden, he shows bunt, but pulls it back, and the pitch misses low, and the count moves to 1-0. Colden walked his first time up, but was picked off by Rogers on first base after 6 attempts it took to get Colden picked off.
You counted?
It was 5, and then the next one, 5 that Colden got back in standing up, and then the last one got him out. 1-0 pitch, another breaking ball upstairs. Colden pulls the bunt back, so now it's 2-0. 6 straight balls from Dalton Rogers. Eric Brown's giving signs to his infield and his pitcher Dalton Rogers as he starts to move behind second base just a bit to keep Taylor Smith a little closer to the bag. Dalton Rogers tries that spin move over to second, but fakes the throw and holds on to the baseball.
I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher this summer be so concerned with the base runners in a ball game.
Here's the 2-0 to Colden. Pops the bunt up in the air. The first baseman, Martorella, comes in crashing to make the catch before the bunt hits the ground. And there's one down, and the runners stay put on first and second here in the third. The opportunity to have a sacrifice bunt for Cody Colden is just another blunder for the offense here for Falmouth. And now Braden Taylor stands in with the same situation as Colden, just one away.
This Falmouth team, a team that does not bunt often, especially sacrifice bunts, and that showed there with Colden's pop-up.
Braden Taylor waves at the first pitch breaking ball, and he missed it outside. It's 0-1. Taylor struck out looking his first time up, but was in a full count and had a really good at-bat. Played last night for the first time since July 20th as the DH, tonight as the third baseman. The Big 12 Freshman of the Year in 2021. And the 0-1 pitch. Down in the dirt, but a good stop by Donlin to make it 1-1 on Taylor. Taylor last night went 1 for 4, reached base twice on a single and an error, and scored 2 runs. So decent day back for Braden Taylor as he looks to hit his stride once again. Here's the 1-1. Another breaking ball. That's down in the dirt. Gets in front of Donlin as he blocked it hard off of his body, but the runners stay put. Now the count's 2-1. Rogers out of Jones College at the JUCO level, but transferring to play at the University of Southern Mississippi on the mound. Native of Mississippi as well. Made 12 appearances here in the spring. Went 4-4 on the year, and a 2.91 ERA. And what stands out the most, he had 103 strikeouts in 65 innings at the JUCO level this season. Tonight, has 5 strikeouts through 2 1/3. Here's the 2-1. Taylor takes it outside, a fastball that misses. Now the count's 3-1.
Guy who's kind of played around too. Southeastern Louisiana he played for, 2020, Jones College this past year, and now heading to Southern Miss for the upcoming season.
Well, he's behind in the count 3-1 as he comes set and looks at Taylor on second. Now deals to Braden Taylor, who pops it up into left field. Ranging over to the left field line is Matt Suggs, who makes the catch right along foul territory. A couple of steps into the large area of foul territory to make the grab. And Taylor Smith stays at second. Luke Boyer stays at first. Quickly 2 away after the first 2 runners got on base.
This inning turning a bit similar to the second inning when the Commodores got Chris Armstrong aboard and then struck out the next 3 batters as he was stranded. This half inning, Smith and Boyers aboard, but then back-to-back outs. So Borfin now trying to do something to bring the Commodores back in this ball game.
Borfin 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout. And he checks his swing on the first pitch. And I believe he went around. It's 0-1.
Yeah, no appeal down to third. The home plate umpire in Rick Emerson took the call himself.
So Borfin's behind 0-1 after he struck out looking his first time up in the top of the first inning. Here's the pitch from Rogers. Another breaking ball. He waves at it, and he did go around again. Back-to-back check swings on a breaking ball for Borfin, and it's quickly 0-2. 2 outs in the inning here in the top of the third. Taylor Smith off second, and Luke Boyers off first. Nobody holds them on. Rogers comes set, looking to get out of this inning unscathed. The 0-2 to Borfin. Breaking ball misses outside and low, and now it's 1-2. Didn't get Borfin to chase out of the zone, but that was the right idea.
Borfin had started to go around on that exact same pitch the first 2 times he saw it, able to hold up on the third.
Now here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, he rips at the second baseman on one hop. Eric Brown fields on a knee, then stands up to make the play. Eric Brown defensively, one of the best players in the Cape Cod League. And he made that look easy on a hard one-hopper that was hit right at him. We move into the bottom of the third as the Commodores strand 2 runners in the top half of the inning. It's 1-0 Cotuit. Adam Stone back on the mound here in the bottom of the third inning to face 9-1-2 for the Cotuit Kettleers, who hold a 1-0 lead. Matt Donlin stands in for the first time tonight out of the University of Connecticut, and then back to the top of the order in Jace Grady. But Stone has been efficient almost through 1 time through the order. He's allowed a hit and a walk and 1 unearned run. First pitch to Matt Donlin fouled away into the backstop, and quickly ahead 0-1 is Adam Stone.
So the Commodores, we said coming into tonight, needed to erase what happened last night from their heads and just focus on tonight and winning tonight's ball game. Adam Stone also doing a really good job of erasing that last start he had here at Lowell Park and having a pretty good one tonight.
Loopy ground ball, or loopy curveball that was grounded over the shortstop, Cody Colden. Throw over to first to Armstrong, and he snow cones it at first base. He had to stretch a long way. Cody Colden at short, but the play is made, a 6-3 ground out for Matt Donlin.
We were talking about earlier ago how long Chris Armstrong has been here for, and he joined around the halfway point of the season, just a little bit before, but it feels like ages ago that the Commodores had a rotating cast of players at first base. Brendan Malone, Taylor Smith, Bryson Ware all got their opportunities there, but Armstrong has been so good at first.
First pitch curveball to Jace Grady, and it's a strike, now 0-1. I find it so cool that Cody Colden and Chris Armstrong get to share an infield together as they're hosted by the same family, the Zamuda family, who are commissioner of the league, Eric Zamuda. As it's grounded hard off the second base bag and into center field for a base hit. Trice is going to, or rather Grady's going to try to take second. The throw comes in from the center fielder handle, and it's not in time. Jace Grady with a hustle double gets it to second base, sliding head first. And Cotuit has a runner in scoring position with one away.
Well, like you said, Matt, the ball hit second base, and so it lost some of the speed that it had on it. But Mike Handel in center field was not charging that ball too hard, and he didn't give as much of an effort as he probably should have, especially with Grady hustling around the base pass. So a little bit of an easy double there for the leadoff man, and he now stands in scoring position.
6-game hitting streak for Grady. He's got 11 hits in that span now as Carter Trice stands in. First pitch breaking ball, rather, from Stone is upstairs for a ball. And Adam Stone also, three of them, Stone, Colden, and Armstrong, all hosted by the Zamuda family, and they're all sharing the field tonight. Stone kicks and deals the 1-0. And Trice takes it for a strike at the letters. It's 1-1.
We had, back last week, I believe it was on Sunday, we had the host family appreciation night back at the Gov, and tonight the Kettleers had it for their team. And I mean, just these are the people that help make this league so successful year in, year out.
1-1 breaking ball misses low. Now 2-1. Stone falling behind here on Trice. And it's got to be cool for them to just be able to live together too and come from different areas of the country, come from different schools, different levels of baseball, and then be roommates and almost brothers basically living in the same house all summer. 2-1 breaking ball. Swing and a miss from Carter Trice. That's a good pitch for Stone to get back in the count 2-2.
And I've read things before from the players' actual parents, how appreciative and thankful they are for the host families essentially becoming that parent away from home for the summer and, you know, helping to take care of their children while they're here playing in this league.
So count 2-2. Here's the pitch. Hard fastball is fouled away behind home plate. I've been wondering what that experience is like, living with just an entire new family, and they're basically like your parents and your family for the summer. And I'm sure some of these guys keep in touch over the years as they get higher and higher through the ranks of baseball. I'm sure they keep in touch with their host families from this league. 2-2 again. Fastball just missed outside, and the count runs full.
Well, we don't have a host family, but we've essentially become a little family of our own. A few of us sharing a place together. You, myself, Tommy, all roommates with one another. So, I mean, we've kind of just bonded over that, and we don't have a parent or anything with us, but it's nice to, you know, get to know one another and have a little bit of a different experience.
3-2 breaking ball missed away, and Carter Trice works a walk here with one out. So now Cotuit has a runner on first and second with one away for this heart of the order now, Ryan Ritter. And we don't have a game to go out there and play together, but we have a broadcast to do, which is fun every night. So different mentality than Stone, Colden, and Armstrong, who live together and then have a game to go play. And I guess that's what they talk about at night, too. So here's Ryan Ritter, who flied out to right field his first time up to end the first inning, as Stone steps off the mound to regroup. Ritter coming into tonight, 5th in the CCBL on batting average. So he skies the first pitch to the right side and out of play. Behind in the count 0-1.
We said it last night, say it again tonight. I've already said it once, I'll continue to say it. This is the toughest part of the lineup, and giving up a double to Grady and then the walk to Trice just makes things that much tougher here for Adam Stone because you got Ritter, Brown, Bridges, and Roberts, all so capable hitters and so successful. 2 of them hitting above 300 on the year and the other 2 hovering right around that mark.
Well, this guy at Ryan Ritter is as good as anyone right now in the entire league. He's on an 8-game hitting streak and has 14 hits in that span. Here's the 0-1. Fastball upstairs for a ball. It's 1-1. After every single pitch that Ritter does not swing at, he turns to the home plate umpire to locate it not only in the glove of the catcher, but then see if it's called a ball or a strike so he knows next time in that spot if he should swing or not. 1-1. Takes the breaking ball on the outside corner. And it's called a strike, now 1-2. Always turning his head, looking the ball right into the catcher's glove. Runners on first and second, 1 away. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And Stone fell off the rubber while making his motion towards home plate. So he balks to allow Grady to move to third and Trice up to second. And now the force in the infield is eliminated. And 2 runners moved into scoring position.
That's a tough break for Adam Stone. I mean, ahead in the count 1-2, about to come home with the pitch, and I don't know what happened on the mound, but just tripped. And so both guys get to move up, and now both in scoring position.
1-2, breaking ball ripped up the middle off the end of the bat, and that'll score a run. Cody Colden slides to save another run as he has no play. Everybody's safe. It's an RBI infield single for Ryan Ritter, who extends his hitting streak to 9 games. Now with 15 hits in that span, he's hit safely in 11 of his last 12. Ryan Ritter, unbelievable as Jace Grady comes in to score to make it 2-0 Cotuit.
The Kettleers last night with 20 hits in the ball game, and so many of those just barely got past the gloves or managed to find holes in the field, and that's exactly what Ryan Ritter does with 2 strikes there, able to just get it out or past the reach of Colden. He managed to stop it, but to the point where he couldn't at least come up with a throw.
First pitch, Eric Brown, a ball outside, 1-0. Colden made a really good stop, sliding up the middle. That saved another run because Carter Trice would have scored easily if that ball got through into the outfield. Instead, he stands on third. With a force at second, his Ritter's on first. Stone tries a pickoff attempt over to Armstrong, but Ritter's back in standing up. The throw a bit low, but Armstrong able to handle it. 2-0 Cotuit, 1 out in the bottom of the third, and runners at the corners. Eric Brown flied out to center field his first time up. He's 0 for 1. As Curiali and Colden pinch up the middle for the double play. 1-0 fastball from Stone, misses up. And now it's 2-0.
Slowly things here just getting a bit out of hand for Adam Stone. A 1-2-3 inning in the first allows a run in the second, and here in the third, just 1 gone and already a run across.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Another breaking ball from Stone, missed outside. The count moves to 3-0 on Eric Brown.
And he's already allowed 3 straight guys to reach, in danger here of making it 4 straight on Eric Brown.
Started the inning with a ground out for Matt Dolan, then a double, a walk, and a single to the first 3 guys in the lineup. Here's the 3-0 to Brown. Fastball at the letters, misses for a ball. And he walks Eric Brown on 4 pitches to load up the bases with 1 out for Noah Bridges.
Well, the Commodores know that this is pretty much a must-win game, and I'm surprised that Mike Landry hasn't come out of the dugout yet to talk with his Harvard pitcher. 4 straight guys have now reached, 2 on base hits, 2 on walks, and the bases stand loaded here, and right as I say it, Mike Landry comes out of the dugout to talk with his pitcher.
Landry head down, looking into the grass as he trots over to the mound. So has not turned his head at all to the bullpen. So you'd have to think he's going to leave Stone in this game. We can't really see the bullpen beyond the right field wall. But Stone has the bases loaded after allowing 4 straight guys to reach base with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. As Noah Bridges will stand in. Stone had his 2021 season taken away as the Ivy League did not play. Specifically Harvard as well. They had the opportunity to play against non-conference opponents. I believe the University of Pennsylvania did that, but Harvard did not. So not a single game played for Adam Stone in 2021, and he didn't see game action in the shortened 2020 season either. So that was a big highlight for us, as he was the opening day starter for Falmouth, having never pitched in the collegiate level. And Landry walks back to the dugout now, looking to just settle down Adam Stone and help him find the zone. If he rolls up a ground ball, he can get out of this inning. Bases loaded and 1 out, force anywhere in the infield. Noah Bridges lined out to shortstop, and Cody Colden made a really good play last time. He's 0 for 1. Bridges has been hot at the plate as well. And he takes the first pitch from Stone a little bit high, and it's 1-0. I mean, we talk about pretty much every guy in the lineup being hot, and that's really a testament to the amount of runs that Cotuit has scored over the last 4 games that they've won. It's been just unbelievable. Some things that we haven't seen all season from any team. 1-0, stroked into the left center field gap, slicing towards the left fielder, Luke Boyers, and it gets all the way to the wall on a couple of hops. Coming in to score is Carter Trice. Right behind him, Ryan Ritter. Sliding into third is Eric Brown. And stopping at second is Noah Bridges with a 2 RBI double to make it 4-0 Cotuit in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Luke Boyer's out in left field. Not sure he would have had an opportunity to make that ball, but he did not take the best of routes. He started to go back to his left, and the ball ended up going right over his head, and rather than continue that angle, he just turned and ran directly at the fence. So not sure exactly if he would have had a chance at that, but nonetheless, 2 more runs come home to score for this Cotuit team, and just that timely hitting continuing to be so successful for Cotuit here down the stretch.
5 straight guys have reached base as Brett Roberts takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Roberts walked and scored his first time up, but it's been 5 straight base runners for Cotuit and 3 runs across in the inning to make it 4-0. Runners on second and third with 1 out. And Roberts rips a fastball right back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Brown scores standing up. Right behind him, Noah Bridges to score standing up as Handel gets the ball into the infield. It's a 2 RBI single for Brett Roberts, and it's quickly 6-0 Cotuit here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Well, Matt, you go back to last night's game against Cotuit, and the Kettleers have now scored 18 straight runs against this Commodores team, going back to the 4th inning last night. Already a 6-0 lead here for this team, and this game has changed in quite a hurry. It was just 1-0 coming into this inning, and off of a couple of free passes and a couple of easy base hits, the Kettleers have taken advantage of that.
First pitch to Martorella is a breaking ball in the dirt, and it gets away from Smith, so Brett Roberts moves up now into scoring position, and that eliminates the double play. Well, Adam Stone struggled to find the zone a bit, but then had settled back in, and it's the same story as last night. Pitchers haven't really been walking too many guys. It's been Cotuit absolutely smoking baseballs almost every time they swing the bat. 1-0, another ball that's hit hard. In the air, right at the center fielder, Mike Handel. He moves over, makes the catch. Tagging up is Brett Roberts. The throw comes in on 1 hop to the third baseman, Braden Taylor, and it's not in time as Roberts tags up from second to third, sliding in feet first. But what a throw from Mike Handel. He made that awfully close.
Yeah, that play was much closer, I think, than anyone here probably expected. And Handel with a really good arm out in center field, able to get that ball back into the infield in a hurry. Taylor also with a good tag applied, but it was after the runner in Roberts had reached third. So good out there for the Commodores, and finally Adam Stone able to pick up that 2nd out of the inning.
That ends a streak of 6 straight base runners as Matt Suggs stands in. He crushes the first pitch, deep to left. Going back, Boyers in the gap. He's at the wall. That ball is long gone. Matt Suggs blows the doors off the Commodores. A 2-run shot over the left center field wall. And it's quickly 8-0 Kettleers in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Suggs with his first home run of the summer in his 11th game and his 2nd and 3rd RBIs of the season as Cotuit bats around in the inning. Matt Donlin led it off. He'll come up to bat again here with 2 outs, and it's 8-0 Kettleers in the bottom of the 3rd.
I don't even know what to say anymore. Adam Stone just really struggling out there. Like you said, the Kettleers have now batted around with Matt Donlin set to come back up after he led off the inning. And, I mean, it's 8-0 Cotuit. This is probably the fastest that we've seen any team get to 8 runs this summer. And I don't just mean in terms of innings. The fact that 7 of those 8 runs happened here in one inning alone. The Kettleers offense just continues to be so hot. And now Mike Landry comes out, and that's going to be it for Adam Stone.
Adam Stone's day done, who really was good in the first inning, had a 1-2-3 inning. Then after that, retired the first 5 batters. He walked one, then gave up a single, and a run came around to score on an error from Jace Borfin. But he really fell apart here in the third inning. He started out with a ground out, then 7 straight hitters reached base. Had a couple of walks, allowed 4 hits, then got an out. 6 straight hitters, rather. A couple of walks and 4 straight hits reached base, then 1 out. Was the second out of the inning, and then Matt Suggs blew the doors off of the doors. And now it's 8-0. A 2-run shot deep into the trees in left center. And Lucas Gordon out of the University of Texas will come into the ballgame to relieve Adam Stone. So Stone's day done as he struggled here in the third. It's 8-0 Cotuit, and when we come back, Lucas Gordon will face Matt Donlin, and Cotuit will have batted around with 2 away in the bottom of the third inning. Lucas Gordon on the mound here in Lowell Park as the All-Star takes the mound from the left side to face Matt Donlin, who comes up to the plate for the second time in the third inning. It's 8-0 Cotuit, 2 away in the inning, nobody on base, as Donlin grounded out to start off this inning. First pitch fastball for a strike from Lucas Gordon, and it's 0-1. Final numbers on Adam Stone, 2 2/3 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. And a 1-2, smoked into left field, down on one hop into the glove of Luke Boyers for a base hit. 2-out single for Matt Donlin continues this third inning.
I mean, now just about everyone who's come to the plate this inning, other than Nathan Martorella, has reached base. After Matt Donlin started off the inning with a ground out to Cody Colden at short, bats around and is able to come back up in the same inning and pick up a single to left. So this offense for the Kettleers now with 7 hits in the ball game.
Top of the order, Jace Grady skies one into center field, handles there, a couple of steps to his left, makes the catch, shading the sun to finally end this third inning. Couple of guys come up twice in the inning, and 7 runs come across to make it 8-0. Just an unbelievable inning of offense for Cotuit. It's 8-0 Kettleers, and we move into the fourth inning as I'll pass the play-by-play microphone over to my partner, David Hadar, when we come back from Lowell Park.
Moving to the fourth here from Lowell Park. It's already 8-0 Cotuit as the Commodores will come back to bat for the fourth time this evening. Chris Armstrong, Anthony Hall, and Michael Curiali set to come up for the visiting Commodores here at Lowell Park for the second time this season. 1-0 record here on the year, but this one is already a big hole for them. And the first pitch that Chris Armstrong sees, he pops up behind home plate, and it lands just behind us in the grassy area for some kids to try and get that ball. Cotuit with 7 runs across in the bottom half of the third as the 0-1 now from Dalton Rogers is taken outside for ball 1, and the count evens up at 1-1 here on Chris Armstrong. Falmouth with just 2 hits in the ball game, and Chris Armstrong with one of those, a single to left as he led off the second inning. And the 1-1 now is cut on and missed by Armstrong, and the count goes to 1-2 here on the Florida Gator. So 7 runs in the bottom half of the inning for the Kettleers on 6 hits, and they batted around as the 1-2 now from Rogers is taken upstairs, and the count 2-2 here on Armstrong. Armstrong picking up that single back in the second, extended his hitting streak up to 5 games now as the 2-2 from the left-hander comes home. A breaking ball that's cranked down the left field line, but it's a foul ball as it finds its way into the trees, and the count remains 2-2. And here's the pitch now from the lefty, down in the dirt as it comes inside on Armstrong, and the count runs full on the first batter of the inning for the Commodores. Dalton Rogers this season hasn't gone longer than 3 1/3 innings, and here tonight comes out into his 4th inning of work. He's just 1 out to match that season high, which was July 19th at Brewster, and needs 2 outs to have a new season high. Here comes the payoff pitch from the left-hander. It's taken upstairs, and a leadoff walk for Chris Armstrong and the Commodores as he hops down to first to get on base.
Armstrong on base for the second time tonight. Just continues to do it. Continues to get on. He's got a 5-game hitting streak. He's hit in 8 of his last 9 games. Hit safely in 10 of his last 12. He's continuing to just be the catalyst in the middle of the order.
And before we can get any further in this half inning, Mike Roberts is going to come out to the mound and make the call to the bullpen as the Kettleers will go to the bullpen for the first time tonight. Dalton Rogers' day is done after 3 innings of work. We'll step aside from Lowell Park and come back with the new numbers here in an 8-0 ball game for the Kettleers. Trevor Kunkel takes the mound for the 5th time this season for the Cotuit Kettleers here at an 8-0 lead over the Falmouth Commodores. Kunkel this summer, 7 1/3 innings, 8 strikeouts to 4 walks, and an ERA of 2.45 here as he takes the mound for the first time this season against the Falmouth Commodores. Coming in after a leadoff walk by Dalton Rogers to Chris Armstrong. And that'll bring up Anthony Hall now, with Armstrong leading off of first, and a pickoff attempt is the first motion from the new pitcher as Armstrong's back in standing up. Third time this season that Kunkel has taken the mound here at Lowell Park, as the first pitch home to Hall is outside for ball one on the Oregon Duck. Hall's only at bat so far tonight. He went down swinging, one of the 5 strikeouts that Dalton Rogers recorded in his 3 innings of work, and only allowed 2 hits to the Commodores. And the 1-0 is cut on and missed, now 1-1 on the left-handed hitter. So Dalton Rogers, who had been pitching well for this team, Matt, but Mike Roberts opts to make an early call to the bullpen.
Only allowed 2 hits and 3 walks, but had 5 strikeouts and no runs allowed over that span, and an 8-run lead.
1-1, a breaking ball that's down in the dirt, and the ball ends up going into the dugout of the Kettleers. So moving down to second is Chris Armstrong on the wild pitch, and so he's in scoring position now. Only the second time tonight that the Commodores have had a man reach second. Taylor Smith did so back in the third, but then was stranded there and didn't get any further on the base paths. So Falmouth doesn't need to come back in this ballgame all in one chunk, but going to have to try and put up some runs soon. Here already in the 4th inning and trailing by 8. Count sits at 2-1 here on Anthony Hall. A look back towards second, and Kunkel comes home with the pitch. Hall swings through it again, almost loses his helmet for the second time in this at-bat, and the count's now 2-2.
He just swings hard every single time. And when he makes contact, he hits the ball hard as well and gets his barrel on it every time.
Kunkel holds the ball about chin high. Couple looks towards second, and the 2-2 delivery from the right-hander is fouled in the direction of the Commodores' dugout, and the count will remain at 2-2. So Cotuit tonight with a run scored in the second, and then 7 runs in the third. As with 2 outs in that inning, Adam Stone ended up getting pulled, going just 2 2/3, and Lucas Gordon now on the mound for these Commodores. Here comes the 2-2 from Kunkel, and Hall able to foul it off again. This one into the parking lot behind home plate, and we'll do it all again. So tonight's game about as big as they come for the Commodores. A win tonight for Cotuit improves its mod win percentage up to .515 and drops the Commodores down to .455. And the Commodores in a big hole here, trailing by 8. The 2-2 again from Kunkel is outside, and the count goes full here on Anthony Hall. So Chris Armstrong started off the inning with a walk to reach base for the second time tonight. And now the Kettleers in danger of walking another batter here in Anthony Hall. Here comes the 3-2 pitch from the right-hander, and Hall fouls it off into the fencing just in front of us. And the count remains full, and Hall do it again. 3 foul balls in this at-bat from the Oregon Duck. Hall comes into tonight riding a 9-game hitting streak where he's upped his average from .219 to .280. And he's 0 for 1 in the ballgame with a strikeout so far, but putting together a good at-bat here as the payoff pitch home once again. Hits this one foul down the first base side and broke his bat as well. So another foul ball from Hall. Going to need to get a new bat as well from the Commodores dugout, and the count remains full. Falmouth tonight with just 2 base hits in the ballgame. Those base hits coming from Chris Armstrong and Taylor Smith, and have only had 5 total runners on in the ballgame. Walks to Cody Colden, Luke Boyers, and Chris Armstrong along with those base hits. So it's been few and far between so far for this Falmouth team. And the bullpen last night pitched well over the course of 6 innings for the Kettleers, only giving up 2 runs, as the Commodores scored 6 total last night. Hall has a new bat, and the 3-2 pitch is taken for a called third strike on that outside corner of the plate. Hall turns back towards the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson, and has some words for him, but that's another strikeout for this Commodores team in that similar spot, Matt.
Well, Hall fouled off 4 pitches and was able to get deep into an at-bat, and then once he kind of got out of that rhythm, had to grab a new bat because he broke his previous one. He get frozen up a little bit.
Here comes Michael Curiali, who hits the first pitch he sees high in the air into left field. It goes off the scoreboard at Lowell Park. And the Commodores are on the board as Michael Curiali, with his third home run of the season and his 17th and 18th RBIs, will touch them all here in Cotuit. And Falmouth now trails 8-2 against the Kettleers.
It's a step in the road back to coming back in this game. It's going to take a lot more than that, but it's good that it happened with a runner on base, because one swing of the bat brings home multiple runs. And it's also even better to continue to see Michael Curiali swing a hot bat, and he's coming into his own once again the way we saw him earlier in the summer.
So that'll bring up now Mike Handel, who takes ball one from Trevor Kunkel. So Michael Curiali there getting this team slowly back into this ball game, now trailing by 6 as the 1-0 is cut on and missed by Mike Handel, and the count goes to 1-1 here on the left-handed hitter. Handel 0 for 1 in tonight's ball game, and the 1-1 from Kunkel is fouled off behind home plate. Now 1-2 here on the Fairfield hitter.
You mentioned Curiali, his third home run of the season. That's his first since July 6th at Brewster, when the Commodores hit 6 home runs in that game and won 14-2.
Here comes the 1-2 now from Kunkel. This one taken low and away for him. And this is the first time that Curiali's had 2 RBIs in a game since that July 6th game at Brewster. 2-2 misses just downstairs, and the count goes full here on Mike Handel. 1 gone here in the top of the 4th. Falmouth trailing 8-2 in the team's final meeting of the season against the Cotuit Kettleers. And the 3-2 put in play over to the left side. Past the diving Carter Trice. Ryan Ritter with the backhand. And the throw over to first is high as it gets past Nathan Martorella. Stopping at first is Mike Handel, as he has his first base hit of the ball game and has now picked up a base hit in all 4 of the games that he's played in so far as a Commodore.
Well, that was nearly probably the best play we would have ever seen here on the Cape. Ryan Ritter almost made that in the hole. He fielded that backhand. He didn't even do like the Jeter jump throw. He just, I don't know how he made that throw over to first. And the fact that he threw it over the head of Martorella is even more impressive, to get that much power behind his arm. But he threw it away, and Handel's safe anyway, but he stays put there. So there was no harm done by Ritter throwing that ball.
So Falmouth came into this inning with 2 hits and has doubled that up to 4 now as Handel leads off of first. And here's Taylor Smith, who takes ball 1 on the inside part of the plate from Trevor Kunkel. So Commodore slowly piecing things together here in this half inning, with Dalton Rogers getting pulled and Trevor Kunkel coming into the game. Comes set on the mound as Handel leads off of first. And here's the 1-0. And cut on and miss by Taylor Smith for strike 1. Smith picked up the first base hit of the ballgame for the Commodores back in the 3rd with a single into left field. Guy who's hitting just below 200 on the season for the Commodores and has such a powerful bat out there. Here's the 1-1 now from the right-hander down in the dirt, and the count goes to 2-1 here for Taylor Smith. Commodores come into tonight 14-16-2 on the season. Cotuit 16-16-1, and has taken down the Commodores in 3 of the 4 games that these 2 teams have played so far. As the 2-1 now from the right-hander is on the inside part of the plate again, and the count goes to 3-1 here on Taylor Smith.
Well, this game started at 4:31, but earlier starts to try and avoid the darkness. But with the amount of runs that have already been scored, it seems like we might get there.
3-1, chopped foul down the third base side, and the count goes to 3-2.
We're almost an hour and a half into this game, and the sun is beginning to creep down, start to get a little bit darker on the field.
The Commodores played here just over a week ago. That game only went 6 innings and a 9-4 win for the Commodores, and was called at 8:03 p.m. after a 5:02 start. So start a half hour earlier, but the sun's setting a little earlier as well, as the 3-2, a breaking ball that Taylor Smith is out ahead of, and he goes down swinging for the second out of the inning.
Well, going back to that 6-inning game, it was 3 hours and 1 minute. 6 innings. I mean, that was just unbelievable, but it was a combined 13 runs, combined 21 hits, already a combined 10 runs here, and combined 11 hits. So
we're seeing much of the same offense that we saw that last time.
Throw over to first. Mike Handel back in with a head-first slide. As he's in safely. Luke Boyers digging in now after reaching on a walk in his first appearance of the night back in the third inning. Guy who's hitting just 160 on the season for the Commodores as the first pitch from Kunkel is taken over the heart of the plate for a called strike. So we'll see how many innings we go tonight. When Cotuit played here 2 nights ago against Wareham, that game looked like it was going to go 9 innings, and then Cotuit exploded for a bunch of runs in the 8th and ended up getting called after the 8th as the 0-1 is outside now, 1-1 on Boyers.
That was very similar to what just happened here in the bottom of the third. It was a 7-run inning that they had. It was 5-5 going into that 8th, and they won 12-5. So they put up the exact same amount of runs here against the Commodores.
1-1 from Kunkel, and Boyer swings through it for strike 2. And if the Commodores are going to want to come back, they're going to have to put together innings where they score runs and have to get guys on. So the likelihood of this game going 9 innings, while still possible, is certainly diminishing with every batter that steps to the plate. Here's the 1-2 now from Kunkel. Taken inside as Boyers turns away from the pitch, just mere centimeters from catching a piece of his elbow, but count goes to 2-2 here on the TCU Horned Frog. Mike Handel leads off of first here with 2 gone in the top of the 4th. Falmouth trailing by 6. The 2-2 from the reliever is popped up foul down the left field line, and it's going to find its way just about at the fence that runs down the third base and left field side. So count remains 2-2 here on Boyers. And Cotuit, just one of 3 teams in the CCBL that does not have lights. Part of the reason that these start times have gotten moved up here later in the summer. Brewster, another team with no lights, they're playing at 4 o'clock because of where their field is situated. Here's the 2-2. Boyers pops this one high into the air, into center field, carrying towards the fence, but about a step in front of it. Jace Grady gets under the ball in the deepest part of the ballpark. For the 3rd out of this inning, the Commodores were mere inches away from having their deficit cut back in, but instead it's the 3rd out of the inning, and we go to the bottom half of the 4th with Cotuit on top 8-2 here from Lowell Park.
The guy bobbled it. Yeah. One guy comes in and scores. They try to throw out the other guy at third, make a bad throw. He scores. Then they try to get him at home. They blow that throw. So the guy gets an in the park home run. Oh, it was delicious. That's exactly what these guys do. I know. I saw that. That's so nice. You should go out and say hi to Matt. No, I will. Okay. Gave you your last one? Yeah, he'd love to know you were here.
So the type to like be friends with these old women. Oh yeah. So like I know. That's like we so going on WEI. Everybody else does.
Well, there's 2 other fields.
Lucas Gordon comes and takes the mound for looking for his first full inning of the night for the Falmouth Commodores here in an 8-2 ball game with the Cotuit Kettleers on top from Lowell Park. Coming up this half inning for the home side, Carter Trice, Ryan Ritter, and Eric Brown. 2, 3, and 4, some of the best hitters that this Cotuit team has, stepping up to the plate this half inning. As the third baseman, Trice, will lead things off for Cotuit. Trice tonight 0 for 1, popped out to Jace Borfin in the first and then walked in the third. And he digs in here for his 3rd at-bat of the ball game. And the first pitch of the inning from Lucas Gordon's brought home a breaking ball that's on the outside part of the plate for a called strike on Trice. Trice playing in his 11th game tonight for Cotuit, hitting .243 so far on the summer with these Kettleers. And the 0-1 now from the Texas Longhorn is in at the knees for a called strike on Carter Trice, who's quickly behind 0-2. So back in the third, Cotuit batted around and ended up bringing 11 hitters to the plate against the Commodores. Two of the guys came up twice, Jace Grady and Matt Donlin, as the 0-2 now from Gordon. Not sure where that pitch missed, but count goes to 1-2 on a called ball from Rick Emerson.
Taylor Smith stood out of his crouch, took 3 steps in front of home plate like he was going to throw that ball around the horn down to third, like he does after every strikeout, and quickly just tossed it back to Lucas Gordon.
Here comes the 1-2 now from the Texas Longhorn. This one outside, and the count 2-2.
He did it again. Now he's shaking his head towards the Commodores dugout. Both of those pitches, I mean, could have gone either way.
Well, we've seen hitters on both teams tonight have some issues with the strike zone from the home plate umpire. Seen a few Commodores go down looking, not happy with the calls. As the 2-2 now from Gordon is chopped over to third base, backhanded by Braden Taylor. Long throw across the diamond, and it's in time by a couple steps to beat out Carter Trice for the first out of this 4th inning.
Taylor had to backhand that in the hole towards that foul line. Threw from his back leg. He got all that power generated from planting his back foot and then riding it towards the other way towards first base. Just a really good play for Taylor, and he's looking like where he was, exactly where he left off before missing all those games. He's able to just make a play at third, and that's got to feel a little bit more comfortable for him to get one.
Here's Ryan Ritter, who takes ball 1 upstairs. Ritter 1 for 2 tonight. Also popped out to Jace Borfin in the first, and then picked up an RBI single in his last at-bat in the third. Part of that 7-run inning for the Kettleers is the 1-0 now from Gordon, a breaking ball that runs inside, and the count goes to 2-0 here on Ritter. So with Ritter picking up that single in the third, now a 9-game hitting streak where the infielder from Kentucky has upped his average from 228 above 325. 2-0 comes inside and ends up getting a piece of him as he tried to turn away from the pitch, and he's just going to drop his bat and slowly jog down to first as the Kettleers have their first base runner of the inning. So Ritter is on for the second time tonight, our first hit batter in tonight's ball game, and Eric Brown digs in now. Another one of these guys who's been a huge thorn in the side of the Falmouth Commodores. And Lucas Gordon going to have to pitch very cautiously to him with Ritter leading off of first. And the first pitch that Brown sees, he cranks into center field, flips his bat, and it's gone into the trees beyond the fence at Lowell Park. The lead back out to 6 runs for the Cotuit Kettleers, who continue to just rake against this Falmouth team. Eric Brown has his first base hit of the ballgame, his 5th home run of the year, and the lead is now 10-2 Cotuit here in the bottom of the 4th.
Taylor Smith not happy about that. Him and Ryan Ritter having a couple of words. Eric Brown got 45 feet down the first baseline and chucked his bat about the height of this fence in front of us, which is about, 40 feet high. Threw his bat up there that high to make it known that he crushed that ball to deep center field. I'd be curious to see how that plays out the rest of the day.
So the lead now 10-2 for the Kettleers as Noah Bridges takes ball 1 on a breaking ball. Eric Brown against the Commodores this summer, now 10 for 18 against Falmouth, hitting above 500 against this team as the 1-0 is in at the knees for a called strike here on Noah Bridges. So that average comes out to 556 that Brown has against the Commodores this summer. Now 4 RBIs over these last 2 games against Falmouth as the 1-1 on the outside part of the plate, now 1-2 here on Noah Bridges.
And there's a time and a place for things like that, the bat flips and being flashy and all that. But when you're winning by 8 runs, you can't do that. You just can't do that.
And the Commodores not happy with it as the 1-2 upstairs, right about at the head level for Noah Bridges, and the count jumps to 2-2. Here with 1 gone in the bottom of the 4th, Cotuit on top 10-2 over the Falmouth Commodores. Cotuit scored in 7 of the 9 innings last night and so far has scored in 3 of the 4 innings tonight. And the 2-2, a breaking ball that Noah Bridges swings through for the second out of this inning. And Lucas Gordon has his first strikeout of the night.
Good way to bounce back for Gordon on the mound. Just
forget about what just happened and continue to attack through the lineup.
So 2 gone now, and that'll bring up Brett Roberts, who's 1 for 1 in tonight's contest. Digs in from the right side, and the lefty Gordon has his sign. Now comes home with the pitch, pops it up on the right side, hooking towards getting out of play, and it'll end up finding the area around the Commodores bullpen for the first strike in this at-bat. Roberts walked in the second and came around to score the first run of the ball game, and then had that single back in the third, which plated a couple of runs, scoring both Noah Bridges as well as Eric Brown. As the 0-1 pitch now from Gordon brought home a breaking ball that's chopped foul in the direction of the Kettleers dugout, and quickly behind 0-2 is the Florida State hitter Roberts. So Roberts, another one of these guys who's hitting really well against Falmouth as of late. 1 for 1 tonight, went 4 for 5 yesterday. So now 5 for 6 over these last couple of games with 4 RBIs against Falmouth. Here's the 0-2 from Gordon, and on 3 pitches, Brett Roberts goes down as he swings through strike 3 to end this inning. But Eric Brown extends the lead back out for Cotuit, making it 10-2 off of his 5th home run of the season, and we'll move to the 5th with the Commodores coming back to bat. We move to the 5th here in a 10-2 ball game with the Cotuit Kettleers on top of the Falmouth Commodores in the team's final meeting of the season. And as we move to the 5th, Commodores set to bring up 1, 2, and 3 with Cody Colden, Braden Taylor, and Chase Borfin coming up for the visiting Commodores. Colden tonight 0 for 1 with a walk back in the first, and Trevor Kunkel still on the mound for Cotuit as the first pitch of the inning is a ball down in the dirt, ends up bouncing off of home plate for ball 1 here on Colden. And happy to be joined now on the broadcast by our Will Carfin, one of the interns here with the Commodores this summer. He's a game day ops intern, but on top of that, does a lot of stuff with the media team as the 1-0 from Kunkel comes on the inside corner of the plate, about knee high, and the count now 1-1 here on Colden. But Will, why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners out there?
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Happy to be on the broadcast finally towards the end of the season. Yeah, like Dave said, I've been doing a lot of media stuff on top of the game day operations work I'm involved in.
1-1, chopped over to third, a high hop for Trice, but he jumps up and his throw over to first gets away from Nathan Martorella. Colden looks towards the ball and is going to end up moving into second. They're on the Kettleers' first error of the ball game. So on one swing, Cody Colden able to go around to second, and he stops there as the leadoff man of this inning.
Yeah, like I was saying, do a lot of game day operations, work the kids zone, 50-50 raffle, a lot of different things at Gov Fuller Field. And then on the road, I'm involved with running our Twitter and Instagram. Amongst other things, I've been writing a lot of feature articles with our beat writer, Tommy Moomow. So it's been a fun time to get to work with guys like Dave and Matt and everybody. So I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Colden leads off of second with Braden Taylor now stepping up to the plate. Going to say that Colden reached on an E3. I mean, that's generous giving that, or check that, an error they're actually going to say on the third baseman Trice. So an E5 and then advances to second also on that error. Misread the box score as the first pitch to Braden Taylor comes low for ball 1 here on the TCU hitter. So you've gotten, like you were just saying, involved, Will, with a lot of different things with the team this summer. What has kind of been the reason for you just getting so involved with us on the media side, the game day side, and really anything you can do? Here's the 1-0 now from Kunkel, and it's outside 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still very young in school. I'm a rising junior at UMass Amherst, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I might want to get involved in with the future. I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity to do a lot of different things in high school and when I was at Temple University my freshman year before I transferred, but
2-0, Braden Taylor cranks it into right field, hooking towards the wall, leaping at the last moment, Noah Bridges, who takes away an extra base hit from Braden Taylor, tagging from third and going to Cody Colden to third, who slides in just barely beating the tag. Quite the throw from Bridges back into the infield and nearly got Colden out at third, but instead there's now one gone here in the inning as Braden Taylor with a hard line out into right, and Colden stands at third.
yeah, that was quite the throw. But like I was saying, yeah, I'm just excited to start my career in the sports industry, trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, and what's a better place to figure that out than at an internship here on the Cape. Just a lot of different opportunities. So I've really tried to push for it, do as much as I can, and learn as much as I can from different people. So it's been great so far, and I mean, working for a team like Falmouth has been a great opportunity.
Jace Borfin digs in now and is ahead in the count 2-0 here on Trevor Kunkel. Falmouth trailing 10-2 here in the top of the fifth. Cody Colden standing on third for this Commodores team as the 2-0 now from Kunkel comes outside, and the count goes to 3-0 here on Jace Borfin. So, Will, you've gotten involved in a lot, and it's been really fun to see you develop, and you've done some of our closing the doors at the 3-0 comes inside and a 4-pitch walk for Jace Borfin as he goes down to first. You've done a lot of have helped a lot with closing the door for us this summer, and you've gotten your hand at interviewing some of these guys post-game. What has been your experience with that on the media side?
Yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed it. On-camera stuff isn't something I've done necessarily too much in the past, but it's something that I know if I want to write in the future, which I've done before, that it's definitely a part of it. So being able just to get on there, try to figure out how to feel comfortable on the screen, try to figure out how you want to speak, flow, just be confident in what you're saying is the biggest part of it. So just having the opportunity to do that has been something that's really was something I really wanted to try to do and figure out for myself.
After the walk to Jace Borfin, Mike Roberts comes out of the dugout and makes the second call of the bullpen here in tonight's ballgame. So we're going to step aside from Lowell Park, but the Commodores have runners on the corners with just one gone here in the top of the fifth and trailing by 8 here at Lowell Park. I'll start to get you more involved in a minute. I said I'll start to get you more involved in just a second. Harrison Cohen takes the mound for Cotuit here in a 10-8 or 10-2 ball game, I should say, for the Cotuit Kettleers on top of the Falmouth Commodores. Cohen takes the mound for the 11th time this season, the 9th time out of the bullpen, and he comes on here in relief of Trevor Kunkel, who went an inning and a third, gave up just 2 hits and struck out 2 batters, but allowed 2 to reach here to start this 5th inning as Cody Colden stands on third. And Jace Borfin stands on first here with just 1 gone in the inning. And Chris Armstrong stepping up to the plate. The only guy for Falmouth who's reached in both of his at-bats so far tonight. And he takes ball 1 here from the reliever Cohen. Cohen out of George Washington. This season with Cotuit has pitched 22 innings and has an ERA of 5.72 as Chris Armstrong swings through strike 1 with a powerful swing, and the count goes to 1-1. And still joined here on the broadcast by our Will Carfin, who's taken the reps from Matt, as Matt's over with WEEI for this inning. 1-1 down low, now 2-1 here on Chris Armstrong.
Well, first and third situation here, so we'll see. Jace has 8 steals this season, so maybe he might be going here. We'll see what happens.
Here's the 2-1. Popped up in the infield on the left side. Ryan Ritter, the shortstop, calls everybody off, and just at the edge of the outfield grass makes the grab for the 2nd out of this inning. So the Commodores still have runners on the corners, but now 2 outs here in the inning and trailing by 8 to the Kettleers.
Yeah, it's been a tough day for this this Falmouth Commodores team. Tough start with Adam Stone on the mound. I mean, I think he's a great pitcher, great pitch selection, great pitch mix. I just think he had a little bit of a tough time out there.
Here's Anthony Hall, and the first pitch he sees, he hits down the first base line, and that's going to be a fair ball as he rounds first and goes into second, and now he's going to try for third as 2 come home to score for the Commodores. Sliding into third feet first is Anthony Hall, and the throw gets away from the third baseman, Carter Trice. Coming home to score, standing up, is Anthony Hall, who has a Little League home run of his own after the Kettleers were able to do one yesterday. 3 runs come across for the Commodores on that swing, and all of a sudden the lead cut in half for Cotuit. It's now 10-5 here on the top of the 5th. How about that, Will?
That's unbelievable. I mean, Anthony got moving and then recognized the overthrow at third, was able to get home, and I mean, Cotuit gets one yesterday, so we're glad to get one today. Maybe a little bit of a comeback brewing right here, who knows, but that was a great piece down the right field line. I mean, Anthony really barrels every ball that he hits up. Makes great contact, and demonstrated his athleticism around the bases.
Michael Curiali digs in now and takes ball 1 low and away. And just waiting here, we just got the official ruling on how that was scored. So a triple for Anthony Hall, which is his first triple of the season, and then able to score on an error by the second baseman, Eric Brown. As Curiali swings through strike 1, count now 1-1, but Hall able to bring home 3 runs on that swing. It's now 10-5. Cotuit on top of the Commodores here in the top of the 5th. And Michael Curiali with a 1-1. Now 1-2 as he watches strike 2 come in over the heart of the plate.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead. Sorry about that.
Despite playing from behind these Commodores, they continue to hit the ball well here against Cotuit as the 1-2 is taken low and away 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, I think Falmouth Commodores have always been able to demonstrate their power with the bats, be able to get hits in tough situations. I mean, Mike went deep earlier in the game. I just think that letting up 8 runs early on is never something that you want to do.
2-2 lined into right field, and that's going to fall into the Bermuda Triangle for a base hit for Michael Curiali, his 2nd hit of the ball game. He's aboard with 2 gone, so Commodores hitting Harrison Cohen well coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, they're lighting him up right now. They're really getting the better side of him. Mike Handel made a great play yesterday at the wall, keeping one in the park. So, I mean, he's been a really impressive player for the Commodores since getting here this past week, I believe.
And like you just said, Mike Handel steps up to the plate now for the 3rd time in tonight's ball game. Here with Curiali leading off of first, 2 gone in the top of the 5th as Cohen comes set, and the pitch home now is just outside on the lefty Handel, and count goes to 1-0 in his favor. Handel 1 for 2 tonight with a single in the 4th to pick up his 6th hit as a Commodore, and has now picked up a base hit in every game so far to start the summer, as the 1-0 is in at the knees for a called strike. now 1-1 here on Handle.
Yeah, and I mean, I was looking at his Fairfield statistics earlier in the day. Hit 360 there. I mean, this guy's no joke. He really does have a good bat against good competition. I mean, Fairfield had a really strong year, so.
1-1 taken outside now, 2-1, and really around for this Commodores team. We've seen them add a lot of players as of late. We're really limited about a week ago, and in the last few days have continued to add to this roster. The 2-1 is hit through the gap on the right side of the infield, and that's going to be another base hit for Mike Handel. Stopping at second is Michael Curiali, and the Commodores continue to find base hits in this ball game. They have runners on first and second here with 2 gone in the top of the 5th, and now 7 hits in the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about finding holes and finding spots where you can drop a hit in here and there, and that's exactly what this Commodore needs to do, string a couple hits together, and who knows, you can make a run at it. So as long as they keep doing that.
There's already another arm warming up in the bullpen for the Kettleers out beyond the left field wall as the 8-hitter Taylor Smith digs in now. Cohen looks back towards second, nobody covering the bag, and the first pitch home way away in the dirt, and both Commodores going to advance. Curiali thinking about trying to come home to score as he rounds third, but he's going to hold up at third, and so he stops there. Moving into second is Mike Handel, and the Commodores have 2 in scoring position. So, Will, despite the Commodores trailing by 8, trailing by 6, then cutting into that deficit, and then trailing again at most 8, they just continue to have that response and that aggressiveness against the Kettleers.
Well, I mean, after a tough loss yesterday, I don't think these Commodores want to go down easy. I think they want to really put a fight in, and they want to hold on. I mean, the season's coming to an end.
1-0 to Taylor Smith, in at the knees for a called strike, now 1-1.
It's about to come to an end, and there's a close playoff race between us, Cotuit, and Wareham. So, I mean, you know, if you want to make that playoff push and get a spot, then you're going to have to fight and hopefully pull out a win here against a tough opponent.
Well, that playoff push, a big reason Falmouth added so many of those guys as of late, as Taylor Smith swings through strike 2, and now he's behind 1-2. We've gotten to see some of the new guys that Commodores have added. Of course, Mike Handel, who we were talking about moments ago. The other night, Paul Prue took the mound. We've seen Cameron Buford come in as a pinch hitter for Falmouth in the last couple of games, as the 1-2 now is down in the dirt, but Taylor Smith swings through it, and the tag not applied, but they're going to throw down to first, and Taylor Smith not there in time. So the Commodores strand runners on second and third here in the top of the 5th, but able to bring home 3 runs on 1 swing of the bat from Anthony Hall, who has a Little League home run here in the top half of the 5th. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th with the Commodores trailing by 5 here at Lowell Park. Bottom of the 5th from Lowell Park, and Cotuit on top 10-5 over the Falmouth Commodores, with 7, 8, and 9 set to come up for the Kettleers. Nathan Martorello will lead things off with Lucas Gordon still on the mound for Falmouth. Gordon so far has pitched an inning and a third and has allowed 2 hits and has 2 strikeouts to his name. And the first pitch now in the lefty-lefty matchup is fouled off by Martorella into the backstop for strike 1. Still joined here on the broadcast by our Will Carfin. Will, maybe you're the good luck charm here for Falmouth as they scored 3 runs in the top half of the inning with you on the broadcast.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to be the new broadcaster. Maybe I'm replacing Matt Levine on the broadcast. Who knows? You never know, man. I'm good luck. I've been found to be good luck in the past, I feel like. So.
0-1 comes in upstairs on Martorella. Count now 1-1 here in the lefty-lefty matchup. And here's the 1-1 now from Gordon. Fouled over to the left side, and it'll find its way into the trees here at Lowell Park. Count now 1-2.
Yeah, I actually have a feature coming up in a couple days on Lucas Gordon, so watch out for that on the me and Tommy Mumau. He's been leading the charge, and I've been helping him out, so that'll be coming out in a couple days on Lucas's story.
I feel like I say this every time Tommy comes on, but you and him do such a great job with those feature articles and getting to know so many of these Commodores guys, whether they're only here for a couple of weeks or all summer long. We've gotten to learn a lot about them through your guys' work as the 1-2 down in the dirt, now 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, writing something I've done in the past, and I know how skilled Tommy is at what he does, and to be able to work with him has been so fun. I mean,
here's the 2-2 from Gordon, a breaking ball that stays up, and now it's full.
yeah, I mean, you know, I love interacting with the guys. I think that they have all really interesting stories to have the opportunity to play in a league like this on the Cape. You know, there's a reason they're here, so it's fun to talk to them about it.
Payoff pitch from Gordon. It was elevated, but Martorella swings through it for the first out of the inning. So Lucas Gordon, who's really only made 1 mistake in his inning and 2/3 so far, a 2-run homer that he gave up to Eric Brown. But outside of that, he's been a good arm out of the bullpen for Falmouth tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he was an all-star for us, and he's been quite dominant coming out of Texas, showing up a little later, I believe. But, I mean, he's been a great pitcher from the left side.
Here's Matt Suggs, who digs in with 1 gone in the inning, and the first pitch from Lucas Gordon is at the letters for a called strike here on the UNCW hitter. Yeah, you talk about Lucas Gordon getting here late. Texas making the College World Series, so he joined the team a bit late, and then shortly after he arrived, we had Doug Hodo from Texas, who was only here for a couple of weeks, but still made his impact known with Falmouth as the 0-1 misses low, now 1-1.
Absolutely, and having those guys that make it that far in the College World Series, having Casey Hunt and Mikey Tepper that won it, I mean, it brings a lot to this team, I think.
1-1 from Gordon, comes inside, now 2-1.
I mean, all these guys' goal is to win a national championship and have actual guys that were, you know, in Omaha and had a chance to play there and even win. And I think it's fun to be around and for us even to talk to them about that opportunity that they had.
Counts it at 2-1 with 1 gone here in the bottom of the 5th. Cotuit on top 10-5 as the pitch from Gordon is a changeup that Matthew Suggs swings through, and count goes even here to 2-2. We're going to have to stay in touch with both Casey Hunt and Mikey Tepper and get a pick of the rings for the Commodore socials when they finally get those rings, because that's going to be some pretty impressive bling for a Mississippi State team that had never won a national championship up until this year.
I mean, yeah, I did a feature story on Mikey, and I have one also coming up on KC that I interviewed a few days ago, and I mean, they're just so humble about it, and I had a chance to talk to Trundy, and I mean, they're really great clubhouse presences because of that opportunity to win it, and I mean, to be able to talk about that and have that background, I mean, they're so humble about it, which is awesome to see.
2-2 now from Lucas Gordon. Popped up on the right side, and it's going to end up tracking out of play into the trees yet again, and the count remains 2-2.
So, I mean, and both of them, I mean, they've been terrific for us so far here in Falmouth. I mean, Mikey Tepper throwing upwards of 97, 98 miles per hour. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at as a pitcher out of the pen, and having gotten some starts as well. And Casey, despite a tough game yesterday, has also showed.
2-2, a check swing on an elevated fastball, and they're going to appeal down to first, and E. Tyler Bullock is going to say that Matthew Suggs went around. So that's the second out of this inning, the second strikeout of this inning for Lucas Gordon, and he now has 4 straight strikeouts going back to the 4th inning.
But yeah, like I was saying, Casey has shown some definitely dominance on the mound, and I mean Lucas right here getting 2 quick outs it definitely shows what he's able to bring to the table as well.
2 gone, and Matt Donlin will dig in now as he foul tips the first pitch from Gordon into the glove of Taylor Smith for strike 1.
I mean, for me, if you can locate your pitches, that's the biggest thing. And he's been throwing up and in and up in the zone and getting these guys to swing, and that's exactly what you look for.
0-1 from Gordon, popped up behind home plate, and the count goes to 0-2 here on the UConn hitter. Well, we've gotten to know a lot of these guys so well and had the opportunity to talk with KC a couple of weeks ago when a bunch of the team, along with some of us interns, went to Fenway Park for Yankees-Red Sox game. And, I mean, he was there. He's a New Jersey native, was wearing his New York Yankees stuff as the 0-2 has popped up into left field just a mere few feet in front of the left center field wall. Mike Handel gets under it for the 3rd out of this inning. So the Kettleers go down in order for just the 2nd time tonight as Matt Donlin pops out to end the inning. And the Commodores will come back to bat in the top half of the 6th, trailing by 5. Will, great to have you on the broadcast. Hope to do it again at some time this season.
I appreciate the opportunity to be on. Had a good time. Thank you.
Awesome, man. We'll enjoy the rest of the game and talk with you soon.
Yep.
We'll be back from Lowell Park in just a moment with the Commodores trailing by 5. We move to the 6th here from Lowell Park, and Luke Boyers will lead off the inning with Harrison Cohen still on the mound. Commodore set to bring up 9-1-2 here in the top half of the inning as Luke Boyers takes ball 1 down low. Commodores have brought runs across each of the last 2 innings that this team has stepped up to the plate. 2 in the 4th and 3 in the 5th as the 1-0, a called strike at the knees, now 1-1 here on Boyers. Boyers tonight walked in the 3rd and then popped out to Jace Grady in center in his last at-bat in the 4th. And the 1-1 now from Cohen is a ball that gets away from Matt Donlin behind the plate. And the count goes to 2-1. Eldridge Figueroa now into the ball game for Cotuit, playing at 3rd in place of Carter Trice. Other than that, the rest of the defense still what it normally is as the 2-1 is chopped over to first. Backing up is Nathan Martorella as he scoops that ball out, and then a quick throw over to first where Harrison Cohen was covering the bag for the 1st out of this inning. And pleased to have Matt back on the broadcast now after his inning with WEEI. Good to have you back, man.
Good to be back, David.
1 gone here for Cody Colden as we go back to the top of the lineup. Commodores trailing by 5 here in this ball game. Colden tonight still looking for that first base hit of the ball game as he takes ball 1 just low and outside. Has reached on a walk, and then in the 5th reached on an error by Carter Trice at third, and then came around to score on the Anthony Hall inside the park home run. Here's the 1-0 now from Harrison Cohen, and Golden swings through it for strike one. Sun just slowly starting to dip behind the trees, behind the Kettleers dugout on the third base side. It's still up, and there's still plenty of daylight here, but probably about an hour 20 or so is what this game has left. As the 1-1 now from Cohen is popped up in the shallow part of the outfield. Ryan Ritter calls everybody off, and the shortstop makes the grab just on the edge of the outfield grass for the second out of this inning. So a couple of quick outs here for the Commodores, and there's now 2 gone for Braden Taylor. Taylor tonight looking for that first base hit of the ball game. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a pop out, and a line out. Almost went deep back in the 5th as he watches strike one come in on him. Almost scored in the 5th on a home run that Noah Bridges just barely got to as the ball got out to right field in a hurry. Here's the 0-1 now from Cohen, and this one hit right back up the middle on a line, and that's going to drop down for a base hit right on cue. Braden Taylor with his first base hit of the ball game, and he's aboard with 2 gone here in the top of the 6th.
He hasn't missed a beat. He's hit the ball hard several times since having not played for 10 days up until last night. Got a hit last night, got a hit tonight, and he smoked that ball to right field his last time up. That was a couple feet from being a home run.
That brings up Jace Borfin, who takes ball 1 here from Harrison Cohen. So the Commodores were able to do some of their damage with 2 outs back in the 5th. See what they can do here with 2 outs this half inning as the 1-0 to Borfin is a changeup that he swings through, and the count goes to 1-1. Braden Taylor leads off of first here with the Commodores trailing by 5 in the top of the 6th. A game that if the Commodores end up dropping, all but likely locks up the 2nd spot in the Western Division for Cotuit. And Borfin swings through the 3rd pitch of this at-bat, is now behind 1-2 in the count. Count sits at 1-2 with 2 gone here in the top half of the inning. 8 hits for each of the teams tonight, and the 1-2 from Cohen is just a bit low, and the count runs even to 2-2. So if whoever ends up locking up that 2nd spot in the Western Division will end up taking on Bourne in a 3-game series that'll start on Friday as the 2-2, a breaking ball that comes inside on Borfin, but he ends up swinging through it for the 3rd out of this inning, and Harrison Cohen has his 2nd strikeout on the mound. We move to the bottom of the 6th. Cotuit on top by 5 here from Lowell Park. Lucas Gordon still on the mound for the Commodores as we move into the bottom of the 6th with Cotuit on top of Falmouth by a score of 10-5 here from Lowell Park. David Adar alongside Nat Levine. Thanks for spending some of your Sunday night with us here from Lowell Park. After a 1-2-3 inning that was drawn up by Lucas Gordon in the 5th, he stays on the mound for this half inning and has already pitched through 2 1/3 innings. If he can get all 3 of the outs this half inning, this will be his longest outing on the mound this summer for Falmouth. And he'll start things off against Jace Grady, who watches ball 1 come in outside. Up to this point, the longest outing for Lucas Gordon was his debut back on July 5th when he went 3 innings and gave up 1 run in a 5-4 loss for Falmouth at YD. Here's the 1-0 now from the left-hander, a breaking ball that's able to catch the outside corner of the plate. And the count goes to 1-1 here in his Cotuit with a run in the 2nd, 7 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 4th as the 1-1 now from the Texas Longhorn is popped up into left field. Going back is Luke Boyers right at the wall. He turns, and it lands in the Kettleer bullpen beyond the left field wall. Jace Grady goes yard for the 4th time this season and now has 4 RBIs in the last couple of days against this Falmouth team. Just continues to hit the ball well for Cotuit, and the lead now 11-5. Cotuit ahead by 6.
Well, the Kettleers have now done this twice. They've gotten the lead. Falmouth cuts it back a bit, and then they get a bigger lead. Falmouth cuts it back a bit again, and then they add another. And now they're up by 6, and that's the 2nd home run in as many days for Grady. He's hit 2 now over the last couple of days against the Commodores. I mean, this offense is just unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen this from any team at any level of baseball that I've watched. Just this amount of consistency. This is their 5th straight game they're doing this. They have a 4-game win streak, and they've scored over 40 runs in that span. They come into today. You already have 11. And I played baseball growing up since I'm 2 years old. I've never had a team or played against a team that did this. I've never watched a team or anything at any level of baseball that's done this with this amount of consistency when it matters most, getting hot right before the playoffs.
So Cotuit ahead by 6, and with that home run given up by Lucas Gordon, his day is now done as he ends it after 2 1/3 innings and surrendering 3 runs to this Cotuit team. And taking over for him on the mound will be Stephen Quigley out of Wheaton College, who just joined the team days ago. So we'll have his numbers when we come back here in an 11-5 ball game at Lowell Park. Stephen Quigley out of Wheaton College takes the mound for his Commodores debut here in an 11-5 lead against the Cotuit Kettleers. And he comes into the ballgame in relief of Lucas Gordon, who just moments ago gave up a leadoff home run to Jace Grady here to start off the 6th inning. And now Eldridge Figueroa will pop the first pitch he sees over to the left side, and it's going to fall in foul territory as he's now behind 0-1. Quigley out of Wheaton College, a Massachusetts native from Halifax, just finished finished up his junior year with Wheaton and had 4 total appearances on the mound this past season. 3 starts where he went 17 innings and had an ERA of 1.59 as the 0-1 from the right-hander at the knees for a called strike here on Figueroa. So Quigley, another one of these guys that the Commodores have added in the last few days just because the team had lost so many arms and so many players as the 0-2 fouled off. Count remains 0-2. And so another Wheaton College guy who makes his debut tonight for the Commodores.
And at this point, just looking for him to throw strikes and get as many outs as you can. Just continue to try and stop the bleeding on the mound.
The 0-2 now from the right-hander is dealt home, and it's chopped over to the right side for Michael Curiali at second. Easy field and toss over to first for the first out of this inning as Eldridge Figueroa is down on the ground out. So Quigley, one of 2 Wheaton College pitchers that this Commodores team has added in the last few days. Him as well as Paul Prue, who made his Commodores debut on Friday in the win at Hyannis. A couple of guys that were added here because they're locals and have the opportunity to pitch here in this league as Ryan Ritter takes a breaking ball called strike to start off his at-bat. Ritter tonight with a single in the third where he picked up an RBI and then was hit by a pitch and came around to score on Eric Brown's home run back in the fourth, and now he's behind 0-2 as he swings through strike 2. Well, Quigley coming in here to face the toughest part of this lineup, and Matt, at this point, it may not even be worth saying the toughest part of this lineup, but it may be the toughest stretch of a lineup against any team right now on the Cape as the 0-2 is ripped into left field, but Luke Boyer's coming on and reaching down to make the grab for the second out here in the 6th inning.
That's another ball that's hit off the barrel and just hit so hard, but Boyer's right there positioned perfectly to make the catch. If that's in the gap, it's extra bases easily, and this team just continues to hit as hard as it does over the last 5 games, but the Commodores have really been getting it over the last 2. And 16 runs last night, 11 tonight, and this is just insane.
So 2 gone now for Eric Brown, who hit a 2-run homer in his last at-bat. And the first pitch he sees, he rips up the middle, and that's going to fall in front of Mike Handel in center field for another base hit here for Eric Brown. And we don't need to keep saying it. He just keeps raking against Falmouth, has his second base hit of the night, and he's on with 2 gone. Here's Noah Bridges, who's 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs in tonight's game. Had a 2-run double back in the third that ended up scoring both Ryan Ritter and Eric Brown. Digs in here from the left side with 2 gone in the inning. And Quigley comes home with the first pitch of the at-bat just above the letters for ball 1 here on Bridges. So Falmouth trailing by 6th here in the bottom of the 6th. Going to have 3 innings left to try and mount some kind of comeback. And they're going to have to try and do it as quickly as they can because the sun continues to set here at Lowell Park. The 1-0 comes inside now, 2-0. Still plenty of light above this field, but clouds are starting to make it a little more overcast. And if it's overcast, it gives you a little less daylight and as a result, a little less playing time. Quigley comes set after a look back towards first. A look over his front shoulder, and the 2-0 now. That bounces and ends up catching Noah Bridges on his foot. Didn't come in too hard on him because it hit the ground right before it reached him, but nonetheless, that's the second time tonight that a Cotuit hitter has reached via hit by pitch, and Kettleers now have 2 aboard. So Eric Brown now stands at second with Noah Bridges at first. And here's the 6-hitter, Brett Roberts, who's 1 for 2 tonight with a couple of RBIs as well. Quigley comes set, a look back towards second, and the pitch home now is running on it is Ritter. Also running is Noah Bridges. No throw down to third. The throw goes to second instead. And both runners safe at their respective bases as Cotuit has runners now at second and third.
I don't think I've ever seen a double steal in a 6-run lead.
Well, Cotuit keeping that aggressive base running on and just not letting up against these Commodores. So the force now just sits at first base rather than any of the 3 infield bases. As the count now 1-0 here on Brett Roberts. Quigley comes set, a deep breath, and the pitch home is down low and away. Count goes to 2-0 now here on the Florida State hitter. Quigley was able to pick up a couple of quick outs after coming in relief of Lucas Gordon. But since an Eric Brown single and then a Noah Bridges hit by pitch and then both stealing have kept this inning going. As the 2-0 now from Quigley is right at the knees for a called strike by Rick Emerson. Get you caught up here in a little bit. Some of the other scores around the league. Brewster and Harwich, really the only other notable game tonight. And those two locked in a 2-2 battle in the top of the 4th. As the 2-1 comes in right over the heart of the plate. And it's now 2-2 here on Brett Roberts. So those two teams battling out for the number 1 seed in the Eastern Division. And Brewster currently on top of that division and tied against Harwich. YD's on top of Hyannis 2-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Wareham and Bourne scoreless in the top of the 3rd. And Chatham and Orleans just about to get going out from Eldridge Park. Here's the 2-2 now from Quigley. Just outside. Taylor Smith started to go back towards the dugout, as did Quigley. But instead they come back and the count's full. All night, Matt, we've seen hitters and pitchers just befuddled by the strike zone from the home plate umpire.
And Taylor Smith, he's probably not going to say much just because he has to sit right in front of Rick Emerson the whole game, but he's been frustrated with his body language.
3-2 from Quigley, and that's a called 3rd strike for the Wheaton College reliever, who comes in and allows 2 base runners to reach, but he's able to get out of the inning with no runs coming across to his name. So we move to the 7th, and Matt will take back over on play-by-play when we come back to Lowell Park in an 11-5 ball game with Cotuit on top.
Back here from Lowell Park in the top of the 7th inning, as the Commodores will come to bat. 4, 5, and 6. Armstrong, then Hall, then Curiali, trailing 11-5. Matt Levine now joined by Ryan Prince. David taking a little break. First pitch to Chris Armstrong from Harrison Cohen is fouled away to the left side, and that's out of play, but it's still in the field of play in terms of foul territory because there's so much space down both the left field and right field lines.
Kind of reminds me of Oakland Coliseum over there, down left field.
The exact opposite of Fenway Park. And the 0-1 pitch from Cohen misses low with a breaking ball. It's 1-1. Armstrong tonight is 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a run scored. And the 1-1 pitch. Rips it hard right back up the middle, down into center field on one hop into the glove of Grady, and it's a leadoff single for Chris Armstrong, his 2nd hit of the night here in the 7th. Chris Armstrong's offense has been off the charts over the last couple of games. He has a 5-game hitting streak, He's hit safely in 10 of his last 12 games. He's done everything he can in that middle of the order, basically in the 4 spot every game he's played. Here's Anthony Hall on the first pitch. Breaking ball gets him to swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Hall drove in 2 runs on his last at bat. It was a 2 RBI triple, but then came home to score on the same play by an error from Eric Brown at second.
I guess Cotuit owed us a Little League home run from last night, huh?
Anthony Hall having time called as the helmet he's using apparently doesn't have a pad inside. And the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson, noticed that because every time Hall swings and he doesn't hit it, his helmet comes off because that's how hard he swings. And it's also very loose. I think that's very visible that it's loose on him. And Emerson noticed no padding in the helmet. So now he takes a different one. And you can hear Emerson say to Coach Jeff Trundy, it's a safety issue, Jeff. It's a safety issue. So we're stopping play for that. Now he's got a new helmet, and he steps back in with that Little League home run his last time up, credited as a 2-run triple. Cohen deals the 0-1. Down and low, and Hall lays off of it to make it 1-1. Cohen, a Long Island native out of Syosset, New York, Cold Spring Harbor High School, and plays at George Washington. And the 1-1. Huge swing and a miss from Anthony Hall down low in the zone. It's 1-2.
A lot of Long Island guys out here this summer, huh, Matt?
We got Mike Handel for the Commodores, who faced off against Harrison Cohen and hit a single in the last inning. As Hall rips that one hard down the right field line. That's a fair ball down into the right field corner once again. Hall takes his helmet off, chucks it down on the ground, and stops in at second base to make a statement that he doesn't even need a helmet to run. Chris Armstrong stops at third. It's his second extra base hit of the night for Anthony Hall. He's got a double, and now the Commodores have runners on second and third with nobody out.
I guess that safer helmet maybe made a difference at the plate there for Anthony.
Well, he's lucky no one saw him. None of the umpires saw him do that because that would not be
well received.
Not be well received. So, nonetheless, Hall stands on second with another extra base hit and has just continued to hit the cover off the baseball over this hitting streak that he has. Runners on second and third, no outs for Michael Curiali. And Curiali swings at the first pitch outside for a strike.
This is exactly what you're looking for right here if you're Falmouth. The first 2 guys on, both in scoring position. Another hot bat at the plate. This is how you get back into this game.
Little by little. And a breaking ball that Curiali is way out in front of. That was not close to the zone, and now it's 0-2. Swung at a couple of breaking balls to make it 0-2. But Hall, on the other hand, now on a 10-game hitting streak. He came into tonight batting .424 over the last 9 games. Now got 16 hits, 5 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs. As the 0-2 is skied foul to the right side and out of play. But Anthony Hall, his bat has started to heat up, and he's pretty much solidified himself in that 5 spot for Falmouth. And is having, I mean, aside from Ryan Ritter, the shortstop for Cotuit, Anthony Hall might be having one of the best second halves of any player in this league. 0-2 again. Fastball from Cohen, misses outside to Curiali, now 1-2.
I said it last night. He might be the toughest out in the league right now. He just puts the barrel on everything.
When he gets a hold of one, it's dangerous. The 1-2 breaking ball gets Curiali to wave at it, and he fouled it off the end of the bat. Just got a piece of it. That was inches away from being a strikeout, but he just got it off the end of the bat to stay alive.
And if I'm Cohen here, I keep hammering that outside breaking ball. Curiali hasn't been able to lay off of it this game or all year. So until he proves he can, keep doing it.
Big situation here for Mike. And the 1-2. Up in the zone. Curiali crushes it deep to center. Grady goes back right in front of the fence to make the catch. Tagging and scoring is Chris Armstrong. Tagging from second and third is Anthony Hall. It's now 11-6 as the Commodores scrape one back. here in the top of the 7th inning. It's a sacrifice fly for Michael Curiali, his 3rd RBI of the night.
Nice call, Donnie. Whoa.
I believe they might have just called out Anthony Hall
Call, Donnie.
on an early tag from second base.
Well, he looked to me like he was on the base when Grady caught it.
And Coach Trundy's out to talk to the umpires.
Trundy's going to come out, which he rarely does. Talk to E. Tyler Bullock, the first base umpire, standing 45 feet in between home and first on the first base line. 2 away in the inning, now 11-6, but Commodores just had their runner scraped off the bases.
That's a heck of a call to make in this game, in this spot right now. He must be absolutely sure he saw him leave early.
I mean, it didn't really look too clear to me. I think Anthony Hall was on the base, but Trundy's going to nod his head and walk back to the dugout as Mike Handel will stand in. So it's a sac fly for Michael Curiali, and the first pitch to Handel is a strike, 0-1. Here's the Long Island matchup. Syosset on the mound and Garden City in the batter's box. You got Port Washington on the mic.
And you got North Attleboro, Mass on the other mic.
All right, Ryan. 1-1 the count on Handel. And Cohen deals. Popped up into center field. Grady comes in, sprinting, now is under it, and makes the grab to end the inning. Commodores scrape one across on a sac fly from Michael Curiali. They cut the deficit to 5 runs. It's 11-6 Cotuit as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Time to stretch here at Lowell Park as the darkness is starting to play a factor. Move into the bottom of the 7th inning. As Stephen Quigley still on the mound for Falmouth. Allowed 2 base runners in his inning of work in the 6th, but he'll face 7, 8, 9 as Martorella stands in out of Cal, takes the first pitch outside for a ball.
I can't talk enough about how much that appeal is a momentum killer for Falmouth in the top half. Strike there on a breaking ball by Falmouth. That's an incredible call to make.
It changes everything as here comes the 1-1. Popped up foul to the left side and out of play. The situation would have been Anthony Hall on third with 1 out and Handel up at the plate. Instead, it was no one on with 2 outs. And that's just, as you said, a momentum killer this late in the game when you're trying to mount a comeback trailing by 5. Here's the 1-2 from Quigley. Popped up in the infield, right in front of the pitcher's mound. It travels behind it, and now Armstrong comes in about a step off of the dirt of the mound to make the catch for the first out. Now Matt Suggs stands in. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. It's the biggest game of the year for both sides as sun has gone on behind the trees. No lights here at Lowell Park, so you have to assume time is ticking on when this game will be called. First pitch to Suggs, upstairs for a ball. Suggs had a 2-run homer back in the 3rd. That was the inning. Cotuit brought 11 guys to bat. And I ask you this, Ryan, in a 1-0 count here, but this offense over the last 5 games for Cotuit has just exploded. Now 2-0 the count after a pitch misses up. Have you ever seen this much consistency in any level of baseball from an offense? I don't think I have. So they're just scoring runs every which way, and it's not that they're not being given these opportunities. As a breaking ball crosses for a strike, it's 2-1 now. But they're going after it, and they're just smoking everything, hitting everything.
I mean, I think at 11 runs right now, I think that makes it 54 runs over the last 5 games, including this one. As there's a liner to center field. Handel makes the catch, and that's 2 outs in the inning. But, I mean, over 10 runs a game in the last 5 games is an unbelievable number. That's like video game numbers. I mean, just an absolutely dynamic lineup.
And it's everybody contributing. They had 16 runs last night, 12 runs the night before. It was a 2-1 win the night before that, so that's really the odd one out. As the first pitch to Donlin is a strike. Then it was a 13-2 win and a 15-5 loss before that. So 13 runs, then 2 runs, then 12 runs, then 16 runs, and now 11 and counting tonight. Double digits in 4 of the last 5 games. And when you do that, you're in a good spot to win every night. It's just been so hard for Falmouth to battle back because they've been putting together a lot of runs, a lot of hits, as that's fouled away behind home plate. Last night, Commodores had 6 runs on 10 hits. Tonight, the same. 6 runs on 10 hits here in the bottom of the 7th, but it's not enough. And most nights that is enough, but Cotuit's doing way too much offensively.
I mean, 6 runs on 10 hits 2 nights in a row is definitely a solid number.
Popped up right behind home plate again and over the press box and off the cement right behind us.
Almost into the cornhole area.
Well, that would have been funny if it went in the hole. I don't know if I could say that I've ever seen that, but.
Counts 0-2 on Donlin, who's 1 for 3 tonight with a single. Here's the pitch from Quigley. Grounded hard over to the shortstop, Colden. Gets a true hop up to his glove, makes the play, and throws over to first for a 1-2-3 inning. Quigley gets through it easily. He's retired 4 straight. We move to the 8th inning. It's 11-6. Commodores looking to come back in this ball game in what might be the last inning. We'll see when we come back. Move to the top of the 8th inning as Taylor Smith will lead things off for Falmouth, trailing 11-6. Harrison Cohen still on the mound. Has so far gone 2 2/3. He's given up 6 hits though, 2 runs, 1 earned run. That's his first pitch to Smith as a fastball bounced in. A good pick by Donlin. It's 1-0.
It's getting to the point now where you have to start wondering when they might call this game due to darkness. You know, 8th inning, ball outside, 2-0. You know, 8th inning, they're already running out of time, and now darkness is playing even more of a factor as manager Mike Roberts makes his way out mid-count, wondering maybe if he's trying to waste a little time here.
Well, we see these moves from Roberts throughout his tenure with Cotuit. 17 seasons at the helm, and he's coming out for a mound visit for a guy that's retired 2 straight. He's going to make the call to the bullpen now to let the sun set just a little more here in Falmouth. It's here in Cotuit rather. It's 11-6 Kettleers, and when we come back, Cotuit will have another new pitcher as the sun continues to set.
It's called Bush League.
Pitch, Harrison. Good job. Way to pitch.
He's pitching pretty well. I don't know why he's taking 5 runs.
So I have a question for you. Does this hitter now count for him or for Cohen? Like if Taylor Smith gets on right now, that's his?
No, I'm driving.
Zach Fruit, the new pitcher for Cotuit, as Harrison Cohen went 2 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, an earned run, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Faced 13 hitters, and he passes the baton on to Zach Fruit to face Taylor Smith with nobody out, nobody on in the top of the 8th inning and a 2-0 count to the catcher for the Commodores. The right-hander deals the 2-0. Right on the outside corner, misses for a ball. And now it's 3-0 to Taylor Smith. Fruit making his 11th appearance of the season. He's 3-0 with a 3.48 ERA. And the 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle for a strike, and now it's 3-1. He has 1 start, 11 appearances, 1 save as well. Just 10 1/3 innings, though, in the 10 appearances. Smith pops up the 3-1 out of play. That goes behind the first base side. And now it's 3-2.
And for anyone keeping score at home, this batter does now belong to Fruit.
It's the second time this summer that we've seen Mike Roberts make a pitching change against Falmouth in the middle of a hitter's at bat. As here comes the 3-2. Fastball up and in. Taylor Smith jumps out of the way, and it's a leadoff walk for Smith here in the top of the 8th. The Commodore is not going away just yet. Lou Luke Boyers, the 9-hitter, will stand in. Fruit out of Eastern Michigan on the mound. 6'4", 203, the right-hander stands. But Boyers 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. Takes the first pitch up and away for a ball.
Fruit's a JUCO transfer from Lansing Community College. So we saw a JUCO guy start the game, and now Fruit's in to relieve.
1-0, hit hard on the ground, but just fouled down the first base side. Boyers got all of that one. Just couldn't straighten it out. Dalton Rogers was the JUCO product that started out of Jones College. Count 1-1 on Boyers. Fruit played his first season at Eastern Michigan in 2021 and had 17 appearances. Boyers batting from the left side against the 6'4" right-hander. And the 1-1 pitch. Down and in for a ball with an off-speed pitch. Now it's 2-1. Taylor Smith leads off first, and Martorella not holding him on, or rather is, but is maybe about 6 steps away from the bag. And the 2-1. Misses outside, now 3-1 the count to Luke Boyers. Cody Colden, top of the order on deck, with nobody out in the top of the 8th. 3-1 pitch from Fruit. Boyers lays off. He did not go around the appeal anyway, and it's ball 4. Back-to-back walks for Zach Fruit for the 8 and 9 hitters in the order. And the Commodores have runners on first and second. Nobody out for the top of the order here in the top of the 8th.
Could not ask for anything better right there from your 8 and 9 hitters, seeing pitches, getting on base for the turn of the lineup.
So Cody Colden stands in now looking for that first hit tonight, trailing by 5 runs. Donlin went over for a quick meeting with Fruit. Colden tonight walked, popped out on a bunt, reached on an error, and then a pop-up to Ritter. Nobody out, Smith on second, Boyers on first. The first pitch to Cody Colden, a breaking ball up in the zone at the letters for a strike, and it's 0-1. This game with such big implications for that second spot in the West Division here in the 2021 CCBL season. Bourne already locking up the #1 seed in the West. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball at the letters again, now it's 0-2. But based on how this game's going, if it stays, Cotuit would win. They'd be 3 games ahead of the Commodores, which would mean that any loss for the Commodores the rest of the way would make them eliminated, as the 0-2 from Fruit is bounced in, and now it's 1-2. So essentially the only way that the Commodores can make the playoffs with a loss tonight would be to win the next 3 games, and Cotuit would also have to lose the next 3 games.
That's a lot of help to ask.
A lot of help, and it's an uphill battle. Here's the 1-2. Colden swing and a miss. Just a little bit out in front on that off-speed pitch, and now there's 1 away. That's the first strikeout of the night. On first and second, Braden Taylor stands in. Top of the 8th inning, down 5 runs, it's 11-6. Taylor's 1 for 4 tonight with a single. But I don't think that Coach Trundy wants anybody else coming up to the plate than the next couple of guys. Snap throw behind Taylor Smith at second. He's back in standing up. Eric Brown Jr. is jumping up and down thinking he got him. Donlin made a tough, good throw, but just not in time.
And these Cotuit fans want every call they can get here.
That's everything. Balls, strikes. It could not even be close to the zone, and they want it to be called a strike. Counts 1-0 on Braden Taylor. Ritter plays close to the bag at second, and the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball in for a strike on the inside corner. And Braden Taylor is evened up at 1-1. Jace Borfin stands on deck. He's 0 for 3 with a walk and a run. As Fruit comes set at the chin. Takes a couple of looks at Smith and deals the 1-1. Breaking ball in the outside corner for a strike. And Taylor's behind 1-2.
And after that visit with Donlin, Fruit's been using a steady diet of breaking balls, and it's really been effective since that visit.
Walked a couple of batters with the use of the fastball, and now here's the 1-2. Another breaking ball down low, and Braden Taylor swings and misses. Back-to-back strikeouts with runners on first and second makes it 2 down here in the inning. Top of the 8th, trailing by 5. Jace Borfin will stand in, now 2 away. A much different situation than how this inning started. Taylor Smith off second, Boyers off first. And the first pitch to Borfin. Breaking ball in for a strike, and it's 0-1. Borfin walked and scored in the 5th inning. It's the only time he's been on base. Came into tonight batting .500 against the Kettleers, 7 for 14. As he crushes it to left field, tailing away from the line, but Suggs is there in foul territory to make the running catch. That ends the inning, but the Commodores strand 2. They got a couple of walks to lead off the inning, and now the umpires will meet here after the top of the 8th inning to discuss darkness in an 11-6 ball game for Cotuit. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th inning, and if not, we'll come back with the decision with the meeting of the umpires here at Lowell Park.
That's why I asked. I think we're fine. Unless if this inning was start doing nothing, then maybe. Well, you can't end without us batting. So it's either now or they let the whole thing. You can't let Cotuit end on that. Why is this such a long? You can end after the 8th. It should be after this. I'm saying you either cut it now or you have to let us bat again. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They don't have to. Yeah, I mean, it's like they wouldn't do that. You're right. I think they're going to go 9. Imagine they cut this game after this happening and didn't let us bat again. If it gets dark, then maybe. That's what happened against Fairfield. Yeah, but they were up by 12 runs or whatever it was. They're only up by 5 right now. If they add more to it, I mean. Yeah,
They also scored all those runs to win in that inning, so they technically walked it off.
Yeah, they walked that off. I know, but they were the bottom.
They were the bottom.
They were the bottom.
They won it in that inning.
I'm saying you wouldn't end the game with them up and have them.
So we go to the bottom of the 8th as it continues to get a little bit darker here at Lowell Park. Stephen Quigley still on the mound, who's coming off his best inning of the night. Had a 1-2-3 7th, has retired 4 straight. And he faces the top of the order in Jace Grady here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 11-6. Cotuit with the lead. 10 hits apiece. First pitch from Quigley to Grady is up and away with a ball, and it's 1-0.
Be interested to see the Division III pitcher up against the heart of this lineup this inning.
Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball. Really good pitch from Quigley. That's on the inside corner for a strike. It's 1-1. 49 games and 48 starts at Dallas Baptist this season for the hitter Jace Grady. He batted .337 and the 1-1. Breaking ball down low. Make it 2-1. Dallas Baptist had a really good season. They went to the Super Regional. And I think Braden Taylor and the guy in left field, Luke Boyers, at a TCU, might be familiar with that. As Dallas Baptist won the Fort Worth Regional, going into TCU and knocking everybody out of that. TCU is one of the favorites in the tournament, but count moves to 3-1 now. Quigley missed outside.
The infield's shaded well to the right. Braden Taylor maybe 15, maybe even 20 steps off of third base here.
3-1. Grady takes a fastball at the knees for a strike, and it's a full count. Taylor's playing even with the third base bag, but well to the right of it if you're looking at third base from home plate. Almost where a shortstop would be shifting for a right-handed hitter. 3-2. Ripped hard on the ground to Curiali at second. He backhands it, throws over to first. Good play for the second baseman out of UCLA, and there's one away. So Curiali playing third over the last couple of days. He's played second now tonight and just has looked a little bit more comfortable in the field over the course of the season.
He really has been a super utility guy for this team.
Here's Eldridge Figueroa out of Little Rock. He's 0 for 1 tonight after coming into the ballgame for Carter Trice. Nobody on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. And Figueroa shows bunt but pulls it back and takes for a ball on a breaking ball. Figueroa stands at 5'8", 160 pounds. And playing defensively at third base after coming into this game in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0. Fastball misses up and away, now 2-0. Figueroa, senior out of Little Rock, has been with that team and that school since 2018. Batted .246 in 50 games and 50 starts this season. And the 2-0 pitch. Fastball on the inside corner for a strike, and it's 2-1. Quigley has retired 5 straight hitters, and has started to settle in just a bit more. 2-1 misses well inside to make it 3-1.
This is an important at-bat right here for Quigley. I think this is a must out right here. Must get out right here. Because if you let Figueroa on, then you get to Ritter and you get to Eric Brown Jr., and you do not want to do that with guys on base. And on cue, fastball high and outside, and he walks him. So Ritter's up here, 1 out, 1 guy on, and you got to pitch to him.
Much different situation than it would have been with 2 outs, nobody on for this heart of the order. Now it's 1 out and a runner on first, leading 11-6. Approaching 7:30 on the East Coast here. Game started at 4:31 as Ryan Ritter stands in. 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch, a single, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. First pitch fastball from Quigley is outside for a ball. Quigley stands at 6 foot, 175 pounds. Sophomore out of Wheaton College, a native of Halifax, Massachusetts as well. The 1-0. Snap throw over to first, and it gets away from Chris Armstrong and into right field. Going from first to third now is Figueroa, and cutting off the throw is Chris Armstrong. And holding up there at third is Figueroa. So the pitch was a ball outside, and Taylor Smith threw it down to first base, but it got away from Armstrong, and now on third base is Figueroa.
That was just an ill-advised throw down the first base. I don't think you need to make that risk at this time in the ball game. You got a guy on first. The double play is in play. I think you just got to let the pitcher try to induce a ground ball there. Now a guy on third.
So it's an error on Smith. That's his 4th of the summer. And a 1-1 pitch. Down in the dirt, blocks it well. Smith did, and now it's 2-1. Got a guy on third in Figueroa. Ritter, the hitter. Eric Brown is on deck with 1 out. So this heart of the order continuing to just move through. Get guys on, move them over. The infield is coming in. And the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball in the outside corner. Ritter waves at it. He's well out in front and falls to a knee. And now it's 2-2. Very tough game for Falmouth, but they have showed all kinds of fight. Coming back, trying to cut the deficit twice, but Cotuit then takes the lead right back, or makes the lead even bigger, I should say. 2-2, fastball down low, and the count runs full.
And as dangerous as Ritter's been over the last game and a half here, almost 2 full games now, the guy in the on-deck circle, Eric Brown, has been even more dangerous, and I would really not want to face him with 2 guys on in this situation.
Count 3-2 with a runner on third and 1 away. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Waved at and poked into right field. Borfin comes in, makes the catch. Tagging from third is Figueroa. Throw to the plate from Borfin. Gets over the head of a leaping Taylor Smith. It's a sacrifice fly for Ryan Ritter that scores Figueroa. And that error for Smith comes back to bite the Commodores just a little bit. It's now 12-6 Cotuit here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
That's a great job right there by Ritter. He was fooled on that pitch, an outside breaking ball, and he was still able to get the ball deep enough into right field where Jace Borfin couldn't make a good enough throw to home plate, and another runs across.
Now Eric Brown stands in. 2 for 3 tonight. 2-run homer in the 4th, a single in the 6th. He walked in the 3rd and scored. So he's got 2 RBIs, 2 runs, 2 hits. 2 outs, nobody on. First pitch, crushes. Deep left field. Boyers goes back, and he makes the grab as he runs into the fence in left center. Eric Brown thought he had his 2nd home run of the night. Trotting out of the box slowly, but Boyers is there with just enough room to make the catch running into the wall. Score remains 12-6 as we move into the top of the 9th inning. The Commodores, pretty much with their season on the line, have to come back in a big way with just 3 outs to go. Top of the 9th inning, the final inning for the Commodores as they trail by 6. Chris Armstrong set to lead things off. 12-6 the score with Zach Fruit still on the mound. First pitch to Armstrong, batting from the left side. As a first pitch breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Matt Levine alongside Ryan Prince here in the top of the 9th inning at Lowell Park. And the 0-1 pitch. Armstrong takes low at the knees for a strike, rather. And now it's 0-2. Armstrong has 2 hits tonight, 2 runs scored as well. As Fruit goes out of the stretch, the 0-2 pitch. Low and away, and it misses for a ball. Anthony Hall stands on deck. And then behind him, Michael Curiale, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up here in the top of the 9th. 1-2. Down in the dirt with a breaking ball, now 2-2. If the Commodores want any kind of hope to come back, they're going to need more than just those 3 guys. Probably have to bat around and do some kind of magical thing here late in the game.
Yeah, definitely going to need something special here.
2-2 is ripped right back up the middle, and Chris Armstrong has another 3-hit game. Center fielder Grady is able to get it in the gap before cutting it off before it hits the wall. And that keeps Armstrong to a single. That's his 3rd single of the night, and he's got another 3-hit game. Leads off the top of the 9th with a single. The Commodores get the leadoff man on once again. That's 3 straight innings.
And like you said, these 3 guys that were due up this inning, you got to be pretty confident they're going to put something together. But then you look to the rest of the lineup, and they've been pretty quiet.
Hall swings at the first pitch and fouls it away over the 3rd base side. Well, Hall has been as loud as anyone in this lineup over the last week and a half. He has 2 extra base hits tonight, 2-run triple, and came around to score a Little League home run back in the 5th inning, and he takes the 0-1 up and away for a ball. And he's doing this all with his dad here over the last couple of games, has been on the Cape to watch his son play. The 1-1. Breaking ball misses low and in, and Hall is now ahead 2-1.
And, you know, you mentioned Anthony's dad, who's sitting not too far behind us here. It seems like a lot of these guys have played a lot better when their families have been in attendance this season.
2-1. Chopper over to the right side. That's through into right field for a base hit. Armstrong had to pause because the ball almost hit him, and so he only gets to take second base. Runners on first and second, and the third hit of the night for Anthony Hall. Both Armstrong and Hall with 3 hits tonight. And by the way, Anthony Hall has a triple, a double, and a single.
Just another incredible offensive output from the Oregon Duck tonight.
Well, the Commodores get the first 2 men on for the second straight inning. They stranded both of them in the 8th, and Michael Curiali will stand in here. Top of the 9th, nobody out. Runners on first and second. Looking to just continue to pass the torch throughout this lineup for that comeback, trailing 12-6. Armstrong on second, Hall on first, nobody holding them on. And the first pitch to Curiali. Rips it into left field, down for a base hit, but too shallow for Armstrong to come in into score. Suggs made the throw all the way from left. It was off the plate, but Donlin able to get out of the crouch and then come over to the left of the home plate to get it and pick it out, so it didn't get past him. 3 straight singles for Armstrong, Hall, and Curiali. And Michael Curiali also with 3 hits tonight, 2 singles and a homer. So 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup. All of them have 3 hits apiece tonight.
And Mike Roberts out to the mound again to have a discussion with his pitcher, Zach Fruit, and the catcher, Donlin.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Trailing by 6 runs here in the top of the 9th inning. And like I said, just passing the torch through the lineup is what Armstrong, Hall, and Curiali have done, as Mike Handel will stand in after this meeting between Mike Roberts, Zach Fruit, Matt Donlin, and the rest of that infield.
And if there was ever a time for the rest of the lineup to put something together, it's right now. The last gasp of the season almost for the Commodores.
Cotuit's getting a right-hander up in the bullpen. But again, no lights here at Lowell Park and starting to get a bit dark. Home plate umpire Rick Emerson talking to Mike Roberts. And now Mike Handel stands in, the left-handed hitter. 2 hits tonight, 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. First pitch from Fruit to Handel. Breaking ball in for a strike at the letters, and it's 0-1. Handel, the center fielder out of Fairfield. Has had a hit in all 4 games that he's played in as he grounds one softly to the right side. The first baseman, Martorella, is there. That gets a run in, though, as coming in to score is Chris Armstrong. It's now 12-7 as the Commodores trail by 5. It's an RBI ground out for Mike Handel, and Anthony Hall moves up to third. Michael Curiali up to second, and there's one gone here in the top of the 9th.
And with Taylor Smith coming up to the plate here, we know he has the possibility to run into one here and put one over the fence. Wouldn't be a better time for him to do that than right now.
12-7 the score, down 5 runs are the Commodores as Taylor Smith stands in 1 for 3 with a single and a walk, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball in the outside corner for a strike, and it seems like every pitch that Fruit has thrown is a breaking ball tonight. Smith out of Texas A&M, the catcher, as the infield plays at normal depth. And the 0-1 just hit off the end of the bat, foul behind home plate, and now it's 0-2. Fruit out of Eastern Michigan. Stands at 6'4" on the mound as Taylor Smith will look to continue this ball game. 1 away in the top of the 9th, trailing by 5. 0-2 pitch. Down in the dirt, gets away from the catcher Donlin. Coming in to score standing up is Anthony Hall. And moving up to third is Michael Curiali. It's now 12-8, and the deficit cut back to 4 runs. A wild pitch from Zach Fruit makes it 12-8, and now the Commodores have a runner on third, trailing by 4 with 1 out in the 9th.
And you know, an interesting observation, if you want to call it that, pitching late in the game, this run on third base doesn't honestly matter too much to Cotuit. You might honestly feel more comfortable with no base runners here if your Fruit is ball down and outside. 2-2 to Taylor Smith.
It's been going out of the stretch, even without runners on, but Still has to worry about the guy on third base. 2-2 pitch to Smith. Fastball misses outside, and now it's a full count, 3-2.
That was a really close pitch to take.
Well, if anybody knows the strike zone best, it's Taylor Smith, who's been behind catching all night. So he's gotten to really see Rick Emerson's strike zone. So full count with one away, Curiali on third. 3-2 pitch. Fisted foul off the hands of the bat. And it goes into the netting behind home plate. So Smith stays alive.
It's getting darker and darker here at Lowell Park.
The last bit of sun is either out in right field or behind home plate at the third base side. Going through the clouds. 3-2 again. Smith skies it, foul over to right field and out of play. So the count remains 3-2.
Just keep wasting pitches. That's all you got to do on a 3-2 count until you get something you can put into play here.
Luke Boyer stands on deck should the inning continue. 3-2 pitch. Up in the zone, fouled away again. A fastball that time at 91 miles an hour. Smith caught up to it. Couldn't barrel it up, but he was on it. Fouled it straight back into the backstop.
This is now going to be the 9th pitch of this at-bat. Really making Fruit work out there.
Taylor Smith has fouled off 3 straight pitches in a 3-2 count. As the Commodores continue to show that fight here late in the game. 3-2 pitch again. Up in the zone, and it beans Taylor Smith in the elbow guard. So he'll take first base. For the 3rd time tonight, Smith has reached. He's reached 3 different ways, a single, a walk, and a hit by pitch. And now the Commodores have runners at the corners, trailing by 4, and they've almost got the tying run to the plate. If Boyers gets on, Cody Colden would be the tying run to the plate.
And the infield's now corners in, middle at double play depth.
Curiali on third, Smith on first. 12-8 ball game with 1 out in the top of the 9th. Here's the pitch to Luke Boyers, batting from the left side, and he fouls it to the right side.
Nice
on
play
the ground.
by Ryan Eiley down the first base side.
Commodores always getting their first and third base coaches involved with foul balls. Boyers is 0 for 2 tonight with a couple of walks. Had a deep fly out back in the 4th inning that ended the inning. And he's behind in the count. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Down and away, misses for a ball with a breaking ball from Fruit. And the count evens at 1-1.
You have to wonder how much more of a leash Coach Mike Roberts is going to give Fruit here in this inning.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Misses low and in. And the count moves to 2-1 on Boyers. Still a right-hander warming in the Cotuit bullpen. And Mike Roberts is pretty much out of the dugout, but right at the steps. As the count is 2-1 on Boyers. Here's the pitch from Fruit. Swing and popped it foul, Boyers did. Third base side and out of play. Count moves to 2-2. Runners at the corners, down by 4 runs with 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. In the biggest game of the season that has the biggest implications towards that second playoff spot in the West. Fruit set, deals the 2-2. Up and out of the zone, the count runs full to Boyers.
Another full count here for Fruit. He's throwing a lot of pitches in this inning.
So now the count full. 3-2 pitch. Out of the zone, Boyers walks, it's ball 4. And the Commodores continue to pass the torch, but Mike Roberts looks like he's going to make a change. He placed his clipboard down, but now he won't come out of the dugout. Still a right-hander warming, and now Cody Colden steps up to the plate, representing the tying run in a game where the Commodores trail 12-8 with 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. Boyers just worked his 3rd walk of the night, and back to the top of the order for Falmouth. Fruit deals the first pitch to Colden. Breaking ball off of the outside corner, and it's 1-0.
And now Marzarella's back behind the runner at first base, Boyers, and now another mid-at-bat pitching change from Coach Mike Roberts.
Counts 1-0 on Cody Colden, and Mike Roberts is going to make a pitching change as Fruit has given up the bases loaded and a couple of runs in the inning. So he'll exit and we'll step aside. Cody Colden is the tying run at the plate with 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. And a new pitcher coming to the mound when we come back for Cotuit. Max Gigg onto the mound out of Boston College for the Kettleers, making his 7th appearance of the summer. He's got a 1-0 record and a pretty good ERA as well. Tying run at the plate in Cody Colden, and a first pitch fastball to Colden as he swings and misses up in the zone. It's 1-1 now on him. Curiali's on third, Taylor Smith on second, Boyers at first with 1 away in the top of the 9th inning. Gigg set on the mound, 1-1. On the outside corner, another fastball at 93 is called a strike, and it's quickly 1-2 on Colden.
This is a little bit of a change of pace from Fruit, who is down around 88, 89 now. Gigg comes into the game throwing a moving 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
1-2 pitch. Down in the dirt, gets away from Donlin. Digging for the plate is Curiali. He scores standing up as his helmet flies off into the infield. It's now 12-9. Commodores continue to plate runners. That's their 3rd run of the 9th inning. And moving up to third is Smith. Moving to second is Boyers. Trailing by 3 runs now with 2 men in scoring position.
The Commodores are really giving it their best shot right now.
Curiali scores for the 2nd time tonight. Colden even in the count 2-2 with 2 men in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Up in the zone, swing and a miss from Colden. 94-mile-an-hour heater at the top of that zone gets Colden to swing and miss. It's the first strikeout for Gigg. He gets the first batter he faces, and now there's 2 away in the top of the 9th inning, and the Commodores are down to their final out with the tying run up at the plate in Braden Taylor.
Outside of those big 3 we keep talking about, this is probably the guy you want up right here.
Runners on second and third for Braden Taylor as he fouls away the first pitch fastball. to make it 0-1. Home plate umpire Rick Emerson ran out of balls, so he asked the bat boy to bring him a couple more. Cotuit fans that are still here are still getting into it now. Taylor Smith off third, Boyers off second. Down 3 runs. The 0-1 pitch to Taylor. Fastball away, and now it's 1-1. That's at 94 miles an hour from Gig out of Boston College. First baseman Martorella hugging the line at first, playing well behind the bag. And count 1-1 on Taylor. Here's the pitch. Takes it on the outside corner with a fastball for a strike, and it's now 1-2. 94 mile an hour heater again. And the Commodores are down to their final strike in the top of the 9th inning, trailing by 3 with 2 men in scoring position. They've given all the fight that they have. See if they have any more. Gig comes set. 1-2 pitch. Popped up foul to the left side and out of play. Beyond the stands on the third base line. Braden Taylor stays alive.
That fastball came in at 96, Matt. Really pumping it in there.
Hardest pitch of the night from anybody. Smith leads off third, Boyers off second. The tying run, Braden Taylor at the plate. Here's the 1-2. Hit in the air, deep left center field. Coming in is Grady in the gap, and he catches it. In the gap, making the running grab to end the inning. Braden Taylor gave that ball a ride. Just didn't have enough power to clear the wall to tie the game, and the Commodores fall 12-9 to the Cotuit Kettleers. But they put 3 runs up in the top of the 9th inning and pretty much mounted a massive comeback, but just unable to tie the game in the end or take the lead.
That was about as good of a bid as you were going to get from any team right there. Had 2 guys in scoring position, had one of your best hitters at the plate, and fell just short.
3 runs on 3 hits in the inning. No errors. 2 men left on base. As Max Gig comes in, gets the final 2 outs of the game. But the entire story of this game was the early offense from Cotuit. They got out 8-0. But what did Falmouth do? They didn't go away. They came back in this game. They showed all kinds of fight. And Ryan, I think that's the most fight this team has had all season long.
Yeah, that really was an admirable comeback, but, you know, too little too late in this situation, and that all but closes the door on their playoff chances this season. They're going to need a miracle end here for any shot at the postseason.
Well, Cotuit improves to .512 on their mod win percentage. Falmouth falls to .455. And the rest of the way looks like this. Cotuit has Bourne and then YD twice. Falmouth has Wareham twice and then Bourne to close it out. But the Commodores are going to need to win all 3 games. Cotuit's going to need to lose all 3 games in order for Falmouth to earn that 2nd spot. It's not over yet. Definitely an uphill battle, and it's going to be tough. They're going to have to ask for a lot of the Braves to beat Cotuit and the Red Sox to beat Cotuit twice. And Falmouth really has to just take care of it on their own to start. But it'll be a tough stretch over the next couple of days. 3 games left in this regular season, but Falmouth has dropped both of the biggest games of the summer, 16-6 against the Kettleers, and then tonight 12-9, despite having all kinds of fight in the end. So that'll do it here at Lowell Park tonight. For my partner David Hadar, Ryan Prince, and Will Carfin as well. Thank you guys for joining us on the broadcast tonight. Final score, Cotuit wins 12-9, and with 1 win, they will make the playoffs over the next 3 days. You heard it all right here from Lowell Park.